This has been one hell of an experience. Have a look at that. Changing the car. Made a little seat there. Into the little bush. You can see inside. Feel the fabric. Yeah, guys, let's pay a visit. Picking up his pictures, random dude just come up. Yeah, we're getting the ticket to go back to Tokyo for the night in the hotel. We'll be editing all this to get as possible. You do try turning into chills up. We do that last Monday.
I'm with a cold sweat.
Hot sweat, mate.
You said this were going home with you.
600 quid, wasn't it?
Oh, how much? Hey, oh, did you hear that?
No.
He said 600. We're having that as a first time thing.
20 seconds.
Right, if I bid again, are you going to bid any more?
He's
got that stone cafe telly his clothes on.
10, 9,
Well done.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But then, do you not get? If you get a swipe, do you not? Does it not start to build up down?
I had to do it.
You've eaten everything I've ever built on a slope, mate.
Evening, mate. Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to this week's GKP Thursday Night Live. Within this evening's live, we are going to be doing the koi appreciation, which is all types of Gromo, and there has been quite a few sent in. I've got a couple for you to have a look at, which will also for auction later on. Matt sent some in. Are yours available this evening, Matt?
One of them is.
One of them is. Good deal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the rest of the guys and the gang will be joining us henceforth. Have you had a good week?
Yeah. Been trying to, in between all the rain that we're having, trying to wrap up all the jobs. We've got puppies due next week. So I'm
Oh my God, puppies as well.
Oh, and I've got some proud news for you guys.
Gaz has had babies.
Big Gaz created a baby Gaz.
Is this one a Gaz or is this a Geraldine?
No, this is one of Gaz's.
This is one of Gaz. Well, Gaz actually turned out to be a female.
Gaz is a gazette, so she laid the egg.
Sweet, happy days. Gazette has become Gazette Mark II or Gaz Mark II.
Then a good week. Just done another pond install liner.
I saw it, mate. That looked a decent sized pond, that wasn't it?
Nice sized pond. Not bigger than actually is what it is because it's only 20,000, 19 and a half. But yeah, it's a nice pond.
Yeah. Have you supplied just the liner or have you supplied the whole job lot?
All of it, a whole lot.
Oh,
So-
Susan said there I wanted to send in my garoma, but pulled a muscle in my back, then pulled a tendon in my knee. So I'm all kind of faked up at the moment. Sorry, I'm not laughing at the fact that you're injured or you're hurt. It's the all faked up at the moment. I hope hope you get better soon, Susan. That sounds like you've been in the wars a little bit. Right then. Topics. Have I got some topics? The first one being other products are available. That's what I've been doing this week, Matt, because I lost 2 fish this week, both in immaculate condition, both of them from New Forest Koi. One which was my Ginrin Shuru and my second was my Kin Shower, which I picked whilst down there with Rick, working down there on the farm, and he grew it on in his Munga pond. Covered with costia and riddled in fruit, mate. Would you believe that I've just done
it as well?
Yeah, I've only just treated for flukes no more than 4 weeks ago.
So if you remember last week and the week before, I said to Rick about the Fluke treatments. I said, why is it we all struggling? And his smiley commenting face was because you're doing it wrong.
Double PP treatment.
But we can't be doing it wrong, you know?
Double PP treatment, and I actually went with an overdosed, over the recommended dosed level of Fluke M, I think it is, the liquid version of Kasuri stuff. And it never even touched it, man. Never even touched them at all. They seemed better, but they'd gone off the feeding. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Why are fish not feeding? And I'm thinking, maybe it's temperature related because we have been getting some serious temperature swings. It's been up and down, proper up and down. But it's been the same fish, apart from the one that the Kin Shower didn't seem phased at all. Swimming around perfectly fine, not an issue. Nothing wrong with it at all. And it was sat there. Sorry, it was swimming around in the pond, but the other one was sat parked up at where, the place where they always seem to go by the lily pots. And it was sat there, that one, the Kinrin Shuru Asura. But when I approached the pond, it swam away, like, as if I were a predator walking up, both were off. And then it was Monday tea time I got home. And I went out to feed them. I just thought, right, I'll just put one little handful on and see if out comes up. And a few came up and they ate that little bit. And I thought, right, I'm going to leave you today and not feed you till tomorrow, or tomorrow evening. Not feed you in the morning and see what happens. See if you're a bit more tuned into it and see if you want to have anything to do with any more food at that time. I was thinking, well, see how it goes. Just hold off a little bit. And then when I come home, the Shuru Atsuri, all the sumi had come up brilliant all over it. Absolutely best it's ever looked. And I thought, what's going on here? That fish looks immaculate. All the sumi that's been threatening to come through, all come through. But it's head down, arse up like that in water. And anytime any other fish swum near it, it kind of got nudged and just drifted off to a side. It weren't swimming mechanically right at all. And I thought, that's not good. There's something not right here. So I thought, right, do a scrape, flukes. Right, okay. So I thought, well, I'll do a PP treatment today. I'll do a PP treatment again the day after, and then I'll get me fluke treatment in, which is supposed to be this evening, but packet's only just turned up, so I had time to be able to do it. So I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. So they've all been done. They've all been treated, and I've hit them hard. I've hit them hard with the PP as well to make sure that we get rid of the costia. Because when I got back home that evening, then the Shuru is dead, and the Kinshoa's dead, and I'm thinking this is not good. This at all. They've gone through the Fluke the PP treatment, come through the 2 days PP treatment, and the day after they'd come, or 2 days after they died, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Do you not question though whether the PP, if they're already down because of the costia, and then the treatment of PP, which is harsh on them anyway, is the sort of the final straw, and it will knock them on the head?
Why, if they were going to knock it on head, you'd have thought they'd have knocked them on head whilst the oxygen levels were low in the pond, wouldn't you? While the PP treatment were in. They'd done 2 days after the PP, because this was on the Saturday and on the Sunday, and the Monday and then the Tuesday they were dead. So they'd done 2 days, checked the gills, nothing wrong with them, no problems, no nothing. The fish looked immaculate. Scraped the fish again. Now on the Shuru, and I'm not just talking about a few. I just put the slide on in one position, straight down and looked on it, and it was covered. Fluke everywhere. I'm thinking, that's a lot of fluke. And then I looked at them, a lot of them were dead, but a good 60% of them were alive. So I thought, right, well, I'll scrape the other dead fish and see what's on that. And then that was covered in flukes, a bit like a rave party costume, absolutely covered in them. And I thought, right, this is not good. So they're getting rid of the costia first, because that's bad. That's the bad one. So treat again with PP to get rid of the costia, and then hopefully once we've got rid of the costia, I'm going to do a scrape tomorrow evening. And if everything's clean on that side, costia side, I'm going in then with the Fluke S, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I get rid of them. Well,
I was talking to the lovely Tina at the beginning of the week, and she had costia and flukes in her pond, and she treated with the new Fluke X, and on one treatment, all flukes gone, all costia gone. So whether it is going to be as good as that, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, but the time scale she killed the flukes in is too quick, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was a bit that I questioned on it as well.
Colin said,
hopefully it'll be a new, but it's not a new ingredient, is it?
No.
Somebody said that earlier on, saying it's new ingredients, but it's not.
I think it's it's got something else in it, but for praziquantel to kill flukes takes time, and it could be a scenario where she's used praziquantel and it's taken 2 weeks to kill the flukes. But at the end of the day, if the fish are happy and they stop flicking.
Well, that's Colin just saying, Gaz, sorry, you knew something was wrong and you took too long to react. What do you mean I took too long to react? I didn't take too long. I literally checked him in the morning, went to work, come home, and started a course of treatment. PP, following day, PP, come home again this evening. Can't do anything until that stuff's come. I'll be treating now. So hopefully the costia is gone. I checked. This is the first 2 PPs that I did before was 2 weeks ago prior. And that was because I was going to, I treated, I did a treatment of PP, following day, water change, filter clean, a treatment of PP, following day, a treatment of Flukes, Fluke M from, I think it's Fluke M, the plastic bottle, pink stuff, looks like a pink label on it, and treated with them. So everything had stopped flicking, everything had stopped flashing. But then that fish was parked up a little bit, but there were a couple of others that were parked up a little bit. It was what was making me think. And I think, Colin, what I might have done is missed the costia the first time and not noticed the costia.
Yeah, costia is so easy to miss.
Yeah, I think I probably have missed it the first time that I diagnosed it with flukes a fortnight ago, well, 3 weeks ago. But I think it's the costia that's killed. That's been the killer, mate. I agree. So, I mean,
didn't you 3 weeks ago they treat with PP then?
yeah, I did, but not as strong a dose as what I have done this time. I just wanted to strip back the membranous membrane so that I could get in there with the Fluke treatment, because all I'd spotted were flukes. So I just give them a double one day, one the next day, and then water change, and then treated with what is called. Hang about, it'll be in here.
Unfortunately, it creates that problem though, doesn't it? Because by going in with the PP and whatever, you open up the fish. It's not strong enough to kill the costia. So you open up that window for the costia to go boom, which is its life cycle is like 10 times faster than flukes, or whatever, isn't it? So
yeah,
it is a much bigger killer of certainly younger fish. But live and learn. We'll it happens, doesn't it? It's just
yeah. But mate, it was that king show that you grew on, mate. And remember the year before that I got that Ginrin Shuru Sura. It was them two, and I was like, they're immaculate, man, not a mark on them. But the strange thing was how before the fish started to look. Normally they look red, don't they, or pinkish when you've got costia. Normally they go a bit stressed. Mate, it come looking. All its sumi come up looking absolutely mint, but it was kind of angled it like that in the water, angled in the water swimming, rather than like its head was down. Not,
yeah.
But all the sumi come up, half the sumi that was underlying showing come up full. It looked the best it's ever looked pattern wise, but obviously it wasn't the best.
You're not going to recommend it just before a show, then. Get a bit get them looking good.
Get them looking good, got it looking perfect. I'm thinking, man, because that's what made me spot it when I come out. I thought, wow, look how much the sumi's come up on that. Look how good it looks. And then I thought, hang about, there's something all right. That's not swimming right. 3 weeks later, from the first treatment, and yeah, you won't believe it. I mean, there was more Fluke on after having a treatment of double treatment of PP and a Fluke treatment. There was more Fluke on that fish than what was on the initial first fish that I scraped, or the first freeze fish that I scraped, where I identified Fluke 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? Because you could have had a problem going on for 6 weeks on a couple of fish that are going downhill, and you do a scrape on a different fish. We see it all the time. You can do one fish and can't find nothing. Do another fish. There's a problem, isn't there?
Yeah.
Their immune system deals with a lot of stuff. So yeah,
I agree with that one. Yeah, you see, there was always been one fish in my pond that's been, my trigger fish, and that scraped absolutely spotless, no on it. And I gave it my dad, and it's still swimming around perfectly fine in his pond. But I would have thought it. But yeah, that particular fish. But they weren't the only one that was parked up. We've been getting temperatures down to 7 degrees on a night. It's been dropping down to 7 degrees, and it's been cold to a point where we were sat in the living room overnight, and I said, "Fucking freezing sitting here." Could go run upstairs, grab a jumper, put a jumper on, and then thinking, do you know what? If it gets any colder, I'd be half tempted to switch heating on, but I didn't, being a tight Yorkshireman. But we actually discussed the fact
have a coat on, didn't you?
It's cold. Put a thicker jumper on, but I'm thinking this is bad. It's cold, man. So I'm thinking when I go outside in the morning, they're all kind of parked up, and there's only the usual suspects, the greedy chag and whatever, that seems to be swimming around, the bigger fish that were moving around a little bit. But when I approached the water's edge, off they went. So it wasn't so much as showing signs of unusual behavior to make me think that they were an issue. But it was that the one unusual thing was the bloom of sumi, which made me think, that's strange. Why the hell's that? Done that? Have you ever heard of that before? I never noticed that before. A fish look absolutely mint before it dies.
The PP might have taken the mucus off, made it look better.
Well, I suppose it could have done, yeah. But yeah, maybe.
Hey, mate. We all live and learn, don't we? I've been doing it all my life, and I still make mistakes.
Learn the hard way, mate. Learn the hard way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Other than that, we're all good.
Yeah. All good, mate. I had I had my new windscreen fitted, and the guy that come and fit my windscreen broke a trim on side of my car, so he had to come back and get day after and fit a new trim because he broke it. So that were a pain in the ass. But other than that, it's been one of those things.
Happens, doesn't it?
I don't like losing fish. I've not lost a fish since the herring were taking fish. That's the first death I've had in my pond in nearly 3 years, or 2 deaths in the same day in 3 years. The other one was dropsy, and then the others that was on top of that was the herring attack. But yeah, bit pissed.
It goes like it, mate. We had one morning last week, and had a shower jump out the front pond over the guardrail, which is 18 inches, dead on the floor. Go in the shop. Another big shower dead in the shop. Again, fish that have been in there
for ages.
Over top of the boards, and then go out to Sean's main pond, and we lost the big Momentary Sankey. And it's like 3 fish in a day. It's like £1,000, £2,000, 3,000, whatever it is. It's like just you start scratching. What's going on? Nothing since. It's just one of them situations, isn't it?
That's the weirdest thing is where you're getting the jumpers that you get. You think, right, ponds being down at that level, and we think, right, we'll go around the top alt ponds and add a little bit more water and trickling in nice and steady. Do a vat, whichever. Nice and steady. No mass rush. Want to chill them off too quick so that the temperature remains the same. You go around, you do those fish, and you think, right, well, water level's a little bit higher in them now. Should we cover them up? No, they should be all right. And then you go back in the morning, and there's a fish on floor, and it's jumped out of a pond that's at the lower level, and it's jumped nearly 2.5 foot to get out. Whereas the other ones that you'd expect to have jumped out and done. And you think, it's frustrating when you see it, and you think, well, I don't get it, why? But you can't understand why they jump out of the life support. I mean, you can't live without it. Why are you bailing out of it?
It must have been the first year we were here, like 3 years ago. As you go into the sheds, the tanks are like in a horseshoe all the way around the outside of the shed, so you can walk down through the middle. We had one fish that was in the right-hand tank closest to the door. When we got up in the morning, 2 days on the trot, he was in the left-hand tank, and he had jumped down and around and come back into that pond. It was almost like somebody was taking mick.
Yeah, I don't want to be in here.
Yeah, but yeah.
They do some weird. We moved our Asagi broodstock into the next pond. There was like 5 Asagi and 1 Shishui moved to the next door pond, and the next day every single Asagi was back in its original pond. So it could go either way. All the Asagis are back across. The Shishui is still in where we moved it, never moved. Every Asagi was back in the original pond, and it's like
Asagis are something else, aren't they? They've got. I don't know what it is with them, but they just seem to want to. They're the craziest fish, aren't they? They're raged. If you put them in a bowl to measure them up, or you go to net them up, they're tail walking, they're off, they're jumping, they're trying to get out of the bowl. If you're trying to get a photo of them, they just seem to be absolutely nutters. I don't know what
they could have gone. They could have gone either way, or across into the filter, but they all went back into their own pond and never moved again.
I wonder if
Did you leave them?
They can't. Sure, they can't. No.
Did you leave
you
them?
wouldn't have thought so, would you? But who knows?
I left them there. They want to be there. They can stay there. I don't care.
Masters of Nishikigoi says male Asagis are the worst to net or bowl. 100%, mate. I'd agree with that. Asagis they just seem to be. I don't know. They're kind of wired, aren't they? Even if you sedate them, they're still mad crazy. I find they are anyway. Every time, saying that though, today we were doing some videos or something, we dropped one in a bowl, and we do use a little bit of sedate just to chill them out a little bit. Ryan says we don't want them in there too long. Straight in, quick measure, straight out. So fish out in my hand into bowl, measure it up. Once I measured it up, from measuring it up straight out, pop it into bowl for photograph. and it literally, if it managed to move its gills 4 times in there, that were it. Pick it up, put it into bowl, and it's like completely monged out. Then you put another fish in that you think, you'd think this sort of size would take quite a long time. Same thing. I like trying this out. All the credit is literally in there for seconds, and they're almost stoned out their head. And then when you want to put a fish under, if you're doing a little bit of whatever on it, or you want to have a good look at it and give it a good inspection or whatever, and you can put it in there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it just sits there like, come on, bring it on, put some more in. I'm still not going to sleep. It's weird. I don't get, and that can be smaller little stuff. Sometimes seems to take longer than bigger stuff to help them go under, so to speak. Mad.
Different tolerances, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of us can handle our drink, some of us can't.
Well, I suppose I guess that's probably what it is. It'll be the tolerance level of the fish, won't it? So yeah.
We'll see who can handle the drink in a couple of weeks' time, Rich.
Why? Where are you going? You're doing the dance.
He's doing the dance. He's getting his dancing shoes on back, looking at it, wherever he's going.
Well, we got the show, haven't we? The national.
Oh, the
Couple
national.
of weeks.
Yeah.
You're going up early, aren't you?
End of this month, isn't it?
Starting early. 3 weeks. 3 weeks tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah.
Calling to do, mate. They never catch the fish that you want to treat. When I did that big kajaku over there, I put the net in pond, and I was at that point when I thought, nah, I'm not getting this out. I'm not getting that fish out. No way am I getting that fish out, because all I did was dip the net in, put the net in, and it hurtled across the pond. I thought, oh shit! And then gently, I got it to a corner, a gently angled net, and give it a little bit of defense. And it come up, started rising up to the surface, and I just slipped sock over it. And I thought, right, I've got it in the sock. It can't jump anywhere. So I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get it in this bowl here now while it's in the sock, and I'm going to scoop some of the water that's in the bowl with sedate in it and let it sit in there in sock and just chill out for a minute before I let it out. When I let it out, it just went, ah. Oh my God. Oh, crapping myself. But if this thing jumps out now and starts rattling around everywhere on the floor, Ryan's going to come in and kick my ass. So I thought, I'll semi-sedate it inside the sock before I let it out. That was my little cheat, but it worked. So.
Semi-sedate it and let it out. It's just dead.
No, it was literally just a few seconds, but I didn't want to just let it straight out and it start rattling around in big meter long measuring ball. I thought this. I'm still not comfortable. I'm fine with little uns, but Ryan turned around and said to me, "Don't let it know you're afraid of it." I'm not afraid of it. I'm afraid of dropping it. I'm afraid of it getting damaged. I'm not afraid of the fish. But when it come to put it back in, I thought, right, when I come to put this fish back in now, he'll pick them up and he'll just pick them up and drop them back in. I thought, not a chance. I'm not doing that with that fish. I'll scoop it up back in sock again, and then I'll drain the water out just before I lift it over water, so I'm not putting sedate water back in, and then let it go again. I thought, I'd rather pick it up in a damp sock or a wet sock than pick it up and put it back in and risk dropping it. It would be just my luck if I'd but we picked little ones tonight, so I didn't have to worry about that. So.
I haven't done any, by the way.
You haven't done any? Well, you've had a good running success, mate, and I figured that you might have been a bit busy with
I'm going in Goramo, so.
Would you like some, Rich?
Hey?
Would you
Relax.
like some? I said, would you like some?
Rob Fox says, Gaz, you've never caught a grass carp. Them in a pond are insane. I have, mate, and them things are nutters. I have caught one, but I have netted one of them before. Daz used to have one in his, and that thing used to rattle around. You could not catch it. Your tail walked and ran. As soon as you got net underneath it, it'd be straight back out of it again, and it used to jump around all over the place. Grass carp are absolutely crazy, mate. I totally agree. I think we did have a couple of questions that have been dropped in here, so I would going to go back right quick. Paul Windmill says, would it be okay to run a main pond and a grow-on pond off the same drum filter? Sorry for the newbie question.
No.
It'd be quite hard to do.
How would you do that? How would you have it?
If they're at the same height,
The problem be the water going back into the pond, wouldn't it? You'd have to make sure that equal amounts of water coming through. So, when you go into my sheds, the first 2 tanks are off one drum, but they do have a 4-inch connecting pipe that's closed off so that they can self-level. So it doesn't matter which filter the
In
water.
theory, you could do it. You could do it. I mean,
you can do it, but it's tricky. If it's a gravity-fed drum, then that's perhaps easier because obviously the water you put in doesn't matter what you put where, it's going to come back.
yeah. I mean, you're not. It obviously is not concerned about the issue of having the fish in the same environment. It just doesn't want the smaller grown fish being maybe eaten by the bigger fish if he's got bigger stock. Whereas there, Rob put, you might as well be in the main pond if you do that. But it might be a size issue. Competition for food against bigger fish might be a reason for doing it, and it might also be that they're so small that you don't want the bigger ones to eat them. But
So if that's the only reason, then yeah, you could basically, as long as the 2 ponds have a means to self-level equally, so it doesn't matter where the water's coming back into, they both stay level, it'll work. And you don't have to.
I run 4 ponds off one drum. So there's 4 ponds running off one. What was, but they've all got 4-inch side drains. So it doesn't matter where the water comes back to. Obviously, whichever one goes higher pushes more water back through the drum.
Yeah, so it finds its own level.
Yeah, it does work, but that's only sat up like because there was 4 ponds and one drum. It didn't.
But if you haven't got bottom drains in there, you could just run a pipe from one pond to the other pond over the wall as such and siphon it. So as one fills up, it goes over the top and siphons into the bottom one or the next one, and they will then stay level. You have to watch that you've got big enough pipe.
Yeah, but you can adjust the flow as long as they're coming into the drum on either set. Yeah, you can do it because they'll automatically stay the same level anyway. As long as you've got it's being gravity fed in, either pipes are connected or they go into the drum as 2 separate pipes.
Well, those 2 that you did quite recently in what used to be the old sales. Those 2 ponds are linked out there, and you've got that tank system at front. That new ones that Vince put, not recently, a couple of months ago. Vince relined them, didn't he? And you've got one pond that flows into one flows into another, and that pumps all in there, which cycles both out, I think.
Yeah. So and the 4 on the other side all cycle to one. So but they're all kind of
one chamber
interconnected. So yeah, it doesn't matter what the water does. It's always going to be the level it's at, regardless.
It finds its own equal level throughout then.
Yeah, so you can put more flow through one or through the other. Doesn't really matter, but they're always going to stay the same level. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's not the best way of doing things, but you can do it.
What about this one then? Claude said a few weeks ago, I asked if Tamasaba beginning showing black was normal. Now no black to be seen. Wonder what will happen next.
Most Tamasaba are like normal, they're basic goldfish, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they normally will start black, go red and white, turn white. That's the natural cycle, isn't it? So to show black after not showing black's a bit odd. But then there's so much weird crossbreeding in with them, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of mixes to them, isn't there? There's a lot of different stuff involved. The only thing you'd need to do is to know the parent stock to see whether or not they've been, or any of the parents had anything in them with a bit of black.
You might find that a few weeks ago it was really hot and it reached 28 degrees in your pond, and they changed because of the temperature, and then it's cooled off again. So it might be a temperature related thing rather than anything else.
Steel and David says, Gaz, when you're scared of dropping them, that's when you make mistakes. Need a little bit more confidence. It's the price brackets, mate. It's the price brackets I'm scared of. It's not the fish. They see, well, I was telling Marie, and Marie said the same thing. She said, why are you bothered? You just pick up yours and you just move them around. You don't care. Why are you bothered? And I'll tell you why I'm bothered. Right. This is why I'm bothered. Me and Kev were doing some photos. And we were doing some photos, and there was this lovely sanker with a marathon sanker, and it was a nice, good size knee size, pushing like 50, maybe 55 cm. And I picked up this fish, and they were like, "Right, we'll bang it in, give us size, guys, let us know," and we're straight into bowl with it to get a picture of it, right? And I picked that fish up. I got it like 3 inches out of the water, and the fish flashed like crazy, jumped out my arms, and landed straight back in bowl. Big, you know the big meter balls. It's got lovely, smooth, rounded off corners. But when it jumped out, it come down on edge of bowl, bang. And I thought, crap. I'm glad it landed back in bowl. Looked at Kevin. Kev said, that was close, that. It's a good job it landed back in bowl. And then it turned to the left. And this big flap of Benny just flicked up on its head. And I thought, oh my God. There's a massive, great, big, right through middle at marathon spot. And at that point, I thought, shit, I fucked it. And I even offered to buy fish because I was that pissed off at myself. And I was well fuming. But as it happens, the Benny was starting to fill back in, and the customer bought it. But you got a slightly cheaper fish than what I should have done. And that was in like the first 2 weeks of working there. I just dropped a massive fish. But I didn't drop it, really. It only felt like that distance. But on a perfectly rounded edged bowl, and it bashed its head and just pulled a big chunk of colour out of it. Pretty much like my Tancho Sankey is now at Garden Pond.
We have more problem in the nets, mate. You get them in the net and they crash around the outside of a pan net and damage themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you just see scales and you think, they've come from somewhere, haven't they?
I tell you what, mate, is for me, it's the smaller, younger stuff. When you do the younger stuff and they get the dorsal or the anal fin stuck.
Ah, that's pain.
Because then the fish starts spinning or turning and twisting and it spirals round 2 or 3 times. And you've got to try and get hold of the fish to turn its body back round to get it out of that barb or thing. That's even buying the proper nets that are supposedly anti-tangle so that they aren't supposed to lug up in it.
Well, I was told by the master of koi that once he's done it once, he will always do it. Is that right, Rich?
I don't say always, but generally, if you get one that hangs up, it will generally do it more and more.
Yeah,
It's true.
They're a nightmare.
It kind of exposes the barb more, so doesn't it?
Yeah. The dorsal around the anal fin, that front ray is so strong and barbed that once you split it, pain in the bum.
You do a lot of this, Rick. Claude's asking, should I PP my spawning brushes? I'm guessing prior to use. Would it be advisable?
If they've been out drying and no, if they've been somewhere for 11 months not being used, you shouldn't need to do anything with them. But if you've used them as spawning 3 weeks ago, and then it depends on where they've been. If they've been sat in water and full of mosquito larvae and detritus and all sorts, then you might want to clean them up. If they've been out dried and not been used, then there's no point.
There you go, Claude. Hope that helps, mate.
Simple.
Quick one there. We've got only problem is if you run 2 ponds on a drum filter, you have to treat the main pond, then treat the grown pond will get treated as well. Well, it need to be treated as well, isn't it? Because they're sharing the same water. So.
Yeah. Basically, just having it's the same pot. You can't even think of them as separate ponds. It's
one entity, isn't it?
It's all the same thing. It just
Divided.
They're just separated. But you have to look after them exactly the same.
Well, Dave says, personally, I wouldn't run 2 ponds on one filter in case of outbreaks, i.e. flukes, etc. Well, yeah. I suppose that it's twice the price of treatments because you've got twice the amount of water, haven't you? If you're running,
Yeah. But if you've got a small grow on in a big pond, and you want to invest in a drum and a proper filter system and whatever, and the same fish are in it, that's
Maybe
still a
what?
lot cheaper, isn't it? Than buying another separate system to filter it. So, evening, Crafty.
Evening.
great.
You what?
You had a good week?
It's all to do with
Had much to do.
what you've got, innit? What you're trying to achieve. But yeah, to not run a smaller system through a good drum and fluid bed and a whole proper filter system because you don't want to use a bit more Fluke treatment.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Going out and buying a separate UV, air pumps, more filtration, it would make perfect sense if they can do it.
But it also doesn't work if you want to have a quarantine set up.
Yeah,
then
because
that
you
doesn't work
can't
either.
isolate the two.
It's all it's all relative.
That's the one dropped fish, and there goes your paycheck. That's it. I worked a month just for that one fish.
You do have to be careful, isn't it? And the trouble is that you do get nervous if the fish is bigger, better, more expensive. You should treat them all the same, really, shouldn't you?
Oh, look at that one. Masters of Nishiki guy. When I was in Japan in 2018, one of the Dainichi brothers netted a fish for me. He gave me the price. It was over 50 grand. I asked him to return it to the pond, and he dropped it right on the edge of the pond.
Did you ask 50% discount?
Yeah, thanks. No, too expensive, and then he drops it. Oh, god damn. Now then, here's a question from Umbakoy Aaron. Question: Lightly has added cockle shells to stabilize his pH. Is there anything you can add to lower pH? As my dad's changing a lot of water, Yorkshire, and at the moment Yorkshire water is quite high.
So to lower pH, you've got to take out all the hardness. And yeah, you can't. It's not as easy just to lower. So you could use distilled vinegar.
Yeah,
Any form of acid, but you've got to put enough in to take all of the carbonate out and then drop it. Yeah, not quite such an easy task.
it's not, is it? And
No.
you have to add way more than what you think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Get your dad to store rainwater. He's been peeing it down.
Yeah. He actually, though, that's one thing his dad does have. He does have a water tank system, don't you, Aaron? He could collect and harvest the rainwater because that's basically distilled water, isn't it? So a lot lower pH from that than you can top back up with that instead.
Yeah, the lowering it's never
Nothing
as
like
easy.
yeah, there's nothing like you could with oyster shells and blah 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 to put in, and stuff to bring up KHs and shit and stuff like that. But there's nothing other than a acid alkali to lower.
Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on how hard the water is. It might be high in pH, but it might still be very soft. In which case, you could change it quite easily, then harden it up. So we have a similar. We use very soft water. If the algae goes boom, the pH goes sky high. But before it goes boom, we use a lot of stuff to harden the water.
Oh, Matt, have you seen that?
Carbonates, whatever, and it stops it going up.
Rick frozen, not you for a change.
Weird.
Sorry, mate, you actually froze for quite a while then. Thought you were taking Mick out of Matt for a minute.
No, I was just saying we have a similar problem, but we have soft water. So if the algae goes boom, we have to harden the water before the pH goes too high, and it stops it going too high.
Yeah. That's when you've said in past before that you've been looking at it and you're thinking, ooh, my nipper's getting a little bit here now. I'm going to have to do some alterations and some changes here because something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, and you get quite. I had to move a fish yesterday because the pH just went through the roof. It was in a polytunnel, went boom of algae, and the fish just went literally to the point of they're going to die. So it was a question of there was no way of recovering that situation. It was get them out, get them into a new environment.
Quick smart. Yeah. Andrew Murrell says there, it's understandable you're being worried, Gaz. It's like getting a 500 quid Mondeo and driving a brand new Ferrari. You're going to be a bit nervous. Yeah. It is. To be fair, though, I mean, they've never said no. They've never said anything one way or other. They've always been quite, Ryan's turned around and he said, take a picture of that one, do us a video of that one. And every time I just think, right, it's a valuable fish. The best way to do this is by doing it the sensible way. We've got stuff to do it with. We've got big pan nets. I get the bowl prepped and ready, get the fish up, get a big pan net underneath it, get it into a sock, lift the fish out safely, put it into a little bit of sedate. But I found that if I just flush the sedate through the sock, then the fish chills out inside the sock and don't thrash around and don't panic. And that way then I can minimize the fact or the risk factor of it by just picking up. I suppose as I get more comfortable with it and I get more relaxed with it and I'm more experienced with it, then I'll be right now as I'm doing it. I'm going to do it the easiest, safest way I possibly can. And the value of them is something I respect. And the fact that they're not mine, I didn't purchase them, so therefore I've got to be careful with them because they're going to be somebody else's. So I respect them as much as what I would do if they were my own fish. How's it going then, Bumba?
Good, mate. I've just sent you a picture.
Oh, is that your little pig?
I've been busy.
Oh, hang about, guys. This is rocking horse shit. I'm going to show you what rocking horse shit actually looks like, ladies and gents. Here we go. Nobody ever believes it exists, but it does. Look at that. A rendered pond. I'm just going to... Do you know my first thought, Crafty, was, where's all your fish gone?
I moved them on ages ago.
All of them?
Yeah. We've got a new little project I'm doing.
That looks nice, mate, doesn't it? Did you do it, or did your brother come and do it for you?
I'll send you another picture. Just for fun. But now you lot can all fuck off rather than giving me a hard time about rendering me pond.
Admittedly, though, mate, is that's still wet, isn't it? Though that render's still wet.
That's only the first 2 coats. Still got one more coat to go.
Yeah. But it does look well, mate.
Shocking, mate. Who did that?
That is shocking.
But look at the before and after, guys. Do look.
Yeah. And those toppings on the window, they're new and all that, yeah.
On the sill, yeah, they were actually part of my old garden, and I just got fed up. Yeah, just repurposed them, mate.
Nice.
I wish I hadn't done that. I wish, because I've got that patio I laid is quite expensive.
All this is new, isn't it? All the way down here at Pab.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for to get that done as well.
New pond, then you get your new pond in your long one.
Mate, I don't think I can fucking mentally cope with it, if I'm perfectly honest. I ain't got time, mate, anymore, especially now. Fucking so busy.
So many ponds at work, he doesn't need them anymore.
That looks banging, mate.
I'll put a few of your fish in me pond tonight, Rick.
Crafty's brother got the looks when it came to the looks department, didn't he? Look at that.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking fella, my brother. Yeah, he's a good-looking fella.
Matching beards. Yeah. He got the hair.
I don't know. It's a bit thin, mate. He's disguising that well.
Is it?
If I'm honest, yeah. It's just a bit long, a bit wispy.
Well, at least
there's 8 years between us, so
you can say that. But at least I said he got. Yeah, I was the positive. You was the negative.
So all of you lot can fuck off now. Giving me shit.
We're good. We're good to find some. Aces are looking well at garden though, mate, as well.
Yeah, they're fantastic, mate. Yeah, really, really fantastic. Actually, I'm gonna lie.
So you put a couple of my fish in there just as testers. Get up going again.
No, I already after I moved all my fish on. Now, what my plan was, I was going to upgrade my. I'll say upgrade. I was going to put all new EA gear in, slightly change the skimmer setup on my pond. But to be perfectly honest, I'm fucking fed up of looking at a pond of water without any fish in it. So that can probably wait a while now.
So what are you going to stock it with? What are you going with? Are you starting again, Torsai growing on, or are you going in with some?
Yeah,
big...
some. So I've put a couple of shower in that I want to learn from. Tozai. I've got a Yamabuki that I've put in because I want to see what his fish turn out like. In a heated pond that's being fucking force fed and whatnot. Hence the reason the sake's down here. What else have I put in? A couple of Rick's fish, a couple of your cheeky monkeys, Rick, and one of your Asagis as well. That I nicked from the farm when I was down last. So we're going to have a look and a Ginrin Renji thing. What are they called? Benigoys. that comes from your lot as well. So that was a replacement for the one that I moved on from the missus without her consent. So she's given me loads of shit. So put a few Tozai in. So I've got a few fish in Japan that are being kept on Zakari. So I've got 3 with Yamaguchi. I've got a couple with Yoshino. Tozai to Nisai.
Tozai to Nisai. Oh shit! So they're going to come back with some body and some size on them, aren't they? Then?
Yeah, well, I just want to see how they develop, mate. To be perfectly honest, I just want to learn from them. But the ones that I'm getting from Japan are keepers. So I want to end up with about 8 to 10 fish in there. That and then that's a lot. So I can just get them and appreciate them.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's what I've done.
That's the whole point. Learning from them. That's the best bit.
That is the best bit, mate. I agree.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. I were doing with my fish from you, Rick, this week. I were learning from them.
You're killing them, mate. But it's. I think that whole learning, that whole process is part of it, isn't it?
Alan Tate, fuck off.
Evening all, Wowcrafter. At last, rendering done now. If it takes that long to treat the timber above the pond, we can assume the pond will be completed in 2 years' time.
Yeah, but
Nothing's happening with that timber.
Is it tannalized treated timber?
I don't fucking know. It's just wood.
What colour is it? Let me have a look at that picture again.
Been up there for years, isn't it?
It's been up there a while.
Yeah, it's already treated. It's guaranteed for, I think it's a minimum of 15 years anyway.
I think it was brown treated wood. I don't know. I just bought it. I had a builder, mate. It's the do-it-yourself projects like that'll do. You know what I mean?
Any experience on crystal biofilter media recently put in my homemade trickle tower? Craig Stubbs is asking. Ever heard or used any of it? Good stuff?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's real light.
It is light, but the problem with it, it will grind down. So on a trickle tower, it's fine, but if you put too much water pressure on it or whatever, it will grind and down to dust.
Crumble away.
Yeah, but it's quite a good equivalent to Backy House media, apart from it's soft and light as opposed to a lot harder and more expensive.
There you go. Good stuff.
Good stuff used in the right place. But yeah, again, a trickle tower is perfect for it, like those roto towers or wheelie bin towers you can buy from your local council.
They can take from next door neighbour's garden.
Wheelie bin towers you can buy from your local council or acquire from your neighbour, as Crafty would do. There you go.
That's what I'd do, mate. It's cheaper, isn't it?
You should leave that bin that's been stood end at road for 4 or 5 days longer than when they've been
Yeah.
empty.
Then when you take it, everyone's like, "Hang on a minute, where's the bin gone?" I don't know.
If it says number 4 on it, just put a 1 next to it. Number 41, no one knows whose it was.
It's only 38 houses on the street. Yorkie's guy says, Gaz, thanks for the tips you gave me and my old boat. My pleasure, mate. Hope everything worked out all right for you. Can we get another? I'm sure there was another little comment there. He had an asagi with a raised dead scale, so he talked him through sedating it and removing it so that he could get the fish sorted out. Glad it come through good, mate. Right then. Let's remove that one. Because I've seen the same, put the sedate in a plastic bag with the water. That way they can't go anywhere or jump. Well, I suppose that's a good idea. I don't know. Budget pond keeper says, liked it better before. Like the breeze.
No, it does look better now.
It does, mate. It does. So that's the undercoat. Is it going to be that brilliant white? Or is yours cream or is it white you're around? It's white, isn't it?
Cream. It's
Cream.
magnolia, actually.
Yeah, like a magnolia.
Oh, magnolia.
Everyone, army colour, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
One tint paint does it.
Never goes out of fashion.
Masters of Niki Go says, if you want a decent job, do it. Get Crafty's brother in, not Crafty. Only joking, mate.
No, that's true, mate. That's the reason why I didn't do it is because he does it for a living. Why would I do something? Best thing comes to those who wait. Rome weren't built in a day.
Yeah.
So how did you bribe him in the end?
I basically said I was going to do it myself if he don't turn up.
That
Put
was
his
it.
sign on it.
That was it. He didn't want it put into his name because he don't rest at ours, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a birthday present. It was a birthday present, mate. And I rang him up and I said, right, your birthday's gone. And he was like, yeah, I'll be there. Another birthday goes. I said,
Didn't
right.
say which birthday, did it?
And that's exactly what he said. I said, I didn't say which birthday it was for, did I? You know, so, but yeah, it's quite nice to look out there now. All ties in. You won't look like a building site anymore. Don't build a pond. That's what I say.
Have to
I'll do
agree.
it with a
Someone
liner
else to do it for
stick
you.
in ground.
Yeah.
Stick it below ground and then you don't need to do all that rendering and everything else. Admittedly, they do.
But then you've got to dig.
Yeah, that's a bummer, having to dig. Just saw another question there. Then. Was it a question or was it a statement?
I've got a topic.
Go on, fire away, mate, if you've got one. Save me looking for one.
And it's actually for us to discuss. And it's probably going to be a bit of a touchy subject.
Oh,
So everyone's now sat on the edge of the fucking chairs with their popcorn, aren't they?
2 weeks on the trot.
I like toffee.
Well, I didn't really have much of an input last week because I was too busy.
You were on holiday, mate.
I know, but I miss it.
You were singing baggy trousers in airport, mate.
So I hear on certain YouTube channels. No, not here we go again, Mark. No. This is something that I've been pondering about, right? So I often hear certain things being bandied about koi being too expensive, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook, etc., etc. All right, and quite often there's comments made about koi being super expensive, right? And then a new dealer's going to come into town, or a new dealer comes in, and they're going to drive the koi, give perfectly good koi, the same quality of everybody else for really cheap prices. And then the comments then start getting made as, they import the same as everybody else or from the same people. And the question is this: The koi that are 30 or 40 quid, right? They are, would you class them as high quality koi?
30 or
Japan.
40 quid? That's my top
Re-
end, mate. What are you on about?
Hang about, whoa, go back. Let's just rewind that. That was a trick question, wasn't it? He did that on purpose so that I shook my head and Rick got upset.
Not a chance, mate.
I'm gonna abstain. I'm not answering this question. Let's do
Okay,
it again.
that's cool.
Do it again. Ask the question again.
Right, and so are koi that retail at 30 or 40 quid, are they top quality Japanese koi?
I like how you
changed the
rephrased
question,
that. You
but-
changed the question. Good man. Thank you very much.
So, Crafty, can I put another question to that one?
Yeah,
what a
let's
politician.
answer it. Let's have a
I
chat
hate
about it.
people that answer a question with a chuffing question.
No,
Answer
but
the question, then bring up your question. God
So,
damn it.
a £200 fish, is it a high quality koi?
Okay, no,
Well, that's the thing, is it? Because if you look at, let's say, for example, S Legend, that fish would have never even seen the 30, 40 pound mark, the 200 pound mark. It would have been 6, 7, 12 grand, 14 grand at a Tosai, if not more. As to say that it's sold at 1.7 million. So it's the relevance of the fish breeder bloodline and everything has to come into the category of it all. So,
But also, the actual
depends on your pocket, doesn't it?
Also, it all depends on the dealer, because a dealer could be going out to Japan buying a fish, buying it wrongly, or his eyesight isn't particularly good. Like we had the occasion of buying one fish that had no pectoral fin, didn't we?
Rick, don't stand for that because he's directing that at you, mate. You were a supervisor. You were supervising his fish, and he's blaming you for him not seeing a fish without no peck.
Three of us were looking over the bowl, and we were mesmerised by the pattern and the quality of the fish, and didn't notice peck. But what I'm saying is that just because it's £200, it doesn't necessarily mean it is a high quality fish, because he could have bought that as a hand selecting. That's the price range. That's the margin he's got to put onto it, which makes it a £200 fish. But actually, that fish isn't worth that, or he's actually gone backwards.
I think the whole thing about a high quality fish, generally you're not getting from any breeder for less than top dollar, because they don't want to sell a decent fish. So if they don't want to sell it, you've got to pay. You've got to twist their arm to get it. So you're not going to get it cheap. So you could have one importer buying fish from Isa, buying shows from Isa, right? You could buy console from him at £10 a fish. You could buy his better grade at £100 a fish, or you could go out there and spend £1,000 a fish, all for the same age group fish. Brothers and sisters from the same spawning, but there's some he doesn't want to let go. There's different so where does quality come in? You know, if you want quality, you're going to pay for it. Done.
But even them and the toppest quality ones, that even at £1,000, £2,000, you know, it depends where they sit in the scale. And quite often, the Japanese breeder will put a ballpark figure onto a fish. And I've seen it firsthand, where he puts the price of a fish so high that he actually deters you from buying it. You know, because you know that it's well out of prices.
That's not always about quality.
So the question is this then, right? So are these people that state that the fish that they import, right, via console,
right, there we go, straight away. There's different levels of console, isn't there? There's console, and then there's console, and then there's really good console. But all those are picked and selected by the breeder sending them out to you. Some of them are like, do you know what, mate? We'll just give you that scoop of that. That's your console. Some of them we'll select out these and we'll throw you a few of them in with them. And then others are selected out, but you're not getting the very best of what they've got. Kind of thing, isn't there?
Well, this is my point. There's so many people that don't know what really goes on trade side, that say that these fish are as good as somebody else's fish for a third of the money, when actually, how can something be console fish that cost us X amount? Because all of us could buy console fish from Japan from the wholesalers. All right, we all see the price. It's all on a website, and we can all import them fish without even setting foot in Japan. Right, we can all do that. When it comes to the reselling, all right, it's like, is that the same grade as what happens when you go out to Japan and you select through the fish? Is it the same grade?
No.
No, but the point is, you can go out as a dealer and hand select in Japan and buy the worst fish. They don't give you. They're letting you select, and they're going to charge you a
What
premium.
you want?
What
Yeah,
you choose might not be the best fish. You might pick
absolutely
one
right. Yeah, which I done as well. You get 10 seconds to look over a fish. It happens, Matt. Doesn't it?
Yeah, but you again, you can go out there and pick and hand select, and then you can pay a premium to hand select, and then you can pay a shitload to hand select. This everything's got different levels, hasn't it? It's not just as cut and shut as, oh, I'm getting in a box of console, oh, I'm getting in a box of hand selected.
Yeah,
There's so many levels to it, which to me,
absolutely mental amount of levels.
yeah, and that's what determines the quality and the level and the grade of the fish that are coming in. It's all right saying, if you're going to just turn around and pick up the phone and say, hey, have you got another 200 of those fish that we got last week? Just bang us another 4 boxes out. Nice one. Thanks very much, mate. Cheers. That's his console. What's coming in? What's coming in is just what we get. That's one level, which would be, in my eyes, C grades.
Yeah, but guys, there's a scenario to that one as well, that the person that's buying his console is a good customer to that farm.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It all depends.
And he's going to up the grade because of that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that, mate. It could. That's what I mean. There isn't just a straight cut answer to it, is there? There isn't this, and there isn't that.
And that's the whole point of my question, right? Because
the amount of variables. There you go. That's a good way.
Yeah, but there is. It is such a complex thing that actually, right, there is no cheap koi, irrespective of whether it's 30 or 40 quid. The levels that go into it is just insane, you know. And the other thing, it's like, how many dealers out there don't go to Japan, right? So when you do pick through the fish, right, you're not paying a console price. You're potentially paying 4, 5, 6 times more as a business for each unit that you pick out. So what do you do? Sell that fish back at 40 quid because it's not console, when you've got all the Japan fees to put on top? The fact that your margin is going to shrink because someone else has got console, that they've just got a scoop of a net into a bag, they've received it, and they're saying these are as good as the next ones. Well, actually, someone's gone out there, paid more money, no benny in the fins, better body shapes, good skins, better patterns, blah de blah de blah. This, like, well, all of a sudden a £40 fish becomes a £250 fish. Well, that's because we're paying a premium to get the better quality stuff, or stuff that looks better sellable. For me, it really gets on my wick when statements get made when there's no context behind it or experience behind it for comments to be made. And quite often it sends an incorrect message, because certain people can make a statement on YouTube or Facebook to all of those people that read it, and then all of a sudden businesses can be tarnished for being too expensive, when actually you don't know the root cause of where that fish has come from, or how that pricing structure's been put on. And actually for our business, it doesn't matter about the overheads. You have to be competitively priced in the market. So, we buy bigger. So does Dave. I really agree with that. The relationship with the dealer is the big thing. Of course, money's money, isn't it? But if you're coming in with an expectation that someone that's bought a console fish, irrespective of whether it's CB or A grade or higher grade or whatever it's denounced as, right? You're only going to pay what that dealer says that the price is worth, right?
Colin, best fish I've got is from the fair.
I'd agree with that, Carl.
Somebody
One of my customers, by the way. But cheers,
somebody
mate.
did put in a comment earlier on where they were saying, like, at the end of the day, if you've paid £2,000 for a fish or you've paid 40 quid for a fish, as long as you're getting enjoyment out of keeping the fish, which is where most people start off their hobby, is with the lower end fish and progress throughout the hobby. Now, there's nothing wrong with them fish, because they were happy when they got them and they had them at the first. And then as they learn more about it and they progress through it, they may find somebody like my dad that they can pass them on to and move them on and then upgrade, because some people just enjoy koi for being koi. They're not bothered about the patterns, the markings, whatever they are. They just enjoy the fact of going outside, being in the garden, doing a little bit of tinkering and feeding the fish. So that way you can say, yeah, somebody can appreciate them at all levels, can't they?
Yeah, but look, it's not about the appreciation for the person consuming. It's about the stigma that's attached to the price of a koi, and that koi dealers rip people off when they really don't.
I've got to disagree. They don't rip people off. If you want, it's the same as anything, isn't it? If you want quality, you've got to pay more for it. If you want a better TV, a better monitor, a better PC, you have to pay for the quality. You can't go out and buy yourself a 500 quid PC and expect it to be a top-end gaming rig, because it ain't going to do it. It's not going to be good for editing. It's not, and you're going to be disappointed when you try doing all the things that you think you could do on it because you bought cheap. There's an old saying is, buy cheap, pay twice, don't you? And most of us do that when we get into the koi hobby. We buy cheap fish, we get into it, we get that bug, we get hooked into it, and before long, you're upgrading your pond, your filter system, your fish. As you progress through it all, and then all of a sudden, you're in another price bracket, and then you've got that other choice, haven't you? Because your eye sees what it really wants, but your wallet might not be able to afford it. So you have to work at that slowly or save up for it to get it, and et cetera, et cetera. But
shall I go back to a point, right? So what Crafty's really saying here, let's break it down. You pick one breeder in Japan, Matsue. You pick his most basic variety, Kahaku, an age, Tosai. You can buy them from anything from 10 quid to £1,000 each, trade, right? That's the issue. So someone can go, well, I've got Matsue, Tosai, Kahaku. They're 30 quid each retail because you brought them the cheapest end console. But if you want the better fish, and if they're better fish, they're treated differently. They get better environment, lower stock density, grown. There's so many things.
Food. Yeah.
So technically, you could see on a website, type it in, Matsue, Tosai, Kahaku, and you will see fish from 30 or 40 quid up to £2,000, whatever. There's a difference between them. They're technically the same variety from the same breeder of the same age, and brother and sisters probably from the same spawnings. But you will pay for that pattern, colour quality, body shape, future potential, all of those things across the board. And it will just go, and it escalates massively. A little bit of better quality is a lot more bucks.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where it goes crazy. Where you might have one place selling them at 250 quid, and someone else selling them at 75 quid. They're different fish.
it's like buying a Rolex watch from a reputable dealer or the guy in the pub.
But there's, I suppose that there's an element of truth to that. But it's so complex. You know, there's no one price fits all on when you're buying koi, and that's the issue that I have when I see it, because I think, you know, all of these people that read these comments that they're super expensive, or is got a big shop, is going to be more expensive. Well, actually, the big shop will have more variety than someone in a back garden that's got 6 ponds, because I've got 10 times as many ponds, so I've got 10 times as much fish. It don't mean to say my fish are better quality than his, or vice versa. It may mean that I've got a better quality depending on what they stock and what price points they go in at. You know, there's no one separates everything. You know, it's all down to what the trade price is that you pitch in at, to what your value is, because you can't buy console fish for, like, let's say, and this is only an example, it's not factual, but £10 per fish, all right, and then sell them all at 200 quid, because that's not going to happen, and it doesn't happen, because
in reality,
the quality it isn't there.
And at that sort of price, in reality, you're probably getting rid of 40% of the fish, giving them away because they are literally not worth.
They fall to bits. Yeah, you know, and that's the point that I wanted to bring up, because I hear things and I'm like, it's coming from people that just don't know, you know, and it's a stigma that follows the koi trade about, and actually it's a load of bollocks. Sorry, I actually swore again.
I've got to say, a lot of times I love having an argument or debate with you, but on this occasion, I 100% agree with you. I don't see. I do not
hang about.
I don't see there is.
Please check his forehead, man.
He's glitching again.
This is going to fade. Celtic license for any normal koi owner.
I don't see that there is a difference between the backyard dealer and a
big retailer establishment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what you can actually call yourselves. There isn't. You know, yes, we haven't got the overheads because I haven't got the staff, but I do have other issues that you guys probably don't. You know, sourcing your fish, the quantity of your fish, I can't potentially buy the quantity, so my price in the first place may be slightly higher when I come to buy them. But then
you've got smaller overheads, which balances that out, doesn't it?
Exactly.
You know, so and this was something else that I really wanted to speak about last week, but it's like, the bigger the establishment, the bigger the overheads. The more ponds I've got, the more staff I do, but the bigger the investment. The hardest thing is getting people through the door to buy the fish, because whatever you buy in, you've got to sell, otherwise you ain't got a business. You know, to be perfectly honest. And if you've got 6 ponds in your garden, your overheads are a lot smaller, all right, but the amount of work you've got to do is still the same in comparison. You've still got to photograph fish, still got to put them on the website. You've just got less people to achieve it. So it all depends on the size of the operation, right? And the more you put into your business, the more you get out. And if you're going to be a slouch with it, then you're not going to have as many sales, right?
Yeah, I've seen loads and loads of people that think it's easy doing this job, and they're lazy. And yeah, they all start off, they're, you know, going to do this, going to do that, and within the year you see them drop off and gone, and that's it. Next one.
We're going to come. Yeah, that's a good point, Mark. Thank you very much for bringing that. We're going to come back to this question when he gets a bit further down that bottle of rum and see if he still agrees with you. That's a brilliant idea, Mark. Nice.
I'm only there at the moment.
Oh, we go. Yeah.
Well, that's a sip.
More glasses and talking crap, man.
Can I go back to that question that popped up, guys? Right, buying fish from someone like me as opposed to buying from Japan, there is quite a big difference in. If you're buying from reputable dealers, see, the Japanese fish, yes, it should be slightly dearer, but you're buying that pedigree, you're buying the heritage. So at the end of the day, we're trying to supply a market mainly the people coming into the hobby, the people that keep ponds, the people that want koi, whatever. As they come up through the hobby, we we actively encourage them to go to Mac, to Crafties, to Gatwick Koi to go to these places to expand, because we can't supply that level of fish. At the end of the day, we can't go. You know, they can go to Japan and pick from 40 different farms of the best breeders of all these varieties and have Tancho Kajakus and Tancho Showas and whatever. We can't do that. So that's as you progress through the hobby and you're going from buying £10 fish to £50 fish to suddenly wanting something, I want something a bit special, then chances are we're not going to be able to supply that. So you need to be able to go to a good importer, a good shop in this country to buy those fish. That's that, and that is the sort of the ladder of the hobby. That's what we're all about. I mean, the numbers of fish we sell is insane.
Yeah, it is.
But we're supplying those people that are different parts of the hobby, growing into the hobby, whatever. If you want top end, go Sankey. You want top end, we're gonna really struggle. The few we produce, we've got a customer base that want them, but we have to put people on to the Japanese dealerships because we can't do it.
You probably would have sold more fish already this year than me, Crafty,
And Gaz all put together.
Ryan, Gaz. Probably.
I mean, I don't think you blow your own trumpet enough, though.
No,
No, but that's the
You know what I
thing.
mean? Rick, your quality of the fish you do produce is, in my opinion, mate, they're too cheap. And
they're not cheap. They are what they are. We're a farm. We have to turn. We've had this conversation.
I know, but some of the quality that you produce is mint.
And we supply from the bottom, right from the front, from all the way through. What we can't do is the higher end stuff.
Yeah.
And that we just can't do that in those volumes.
But you can do a very good high end in
very small numbers.
That's
which is the difference. This is
that's
the
the
bit that I was going to be
it.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Rick and I was having a conversation, I think this morning. It's like with what he's done with his Sankey spawnings. Now, am I allowed to say how many ponds you got, Rick? Or
say what you like, mate.
Yeah. So I didn't want to say something I shouldn't. So
it's all
like
interweb, mate. So they've all been filmed.
Yeah, I know, but not everything should ever get shown on YouTube. So 16 ponds of fry, right, from a spawning of one set of one female, two males. All right.
There's more parents than that in those 16 ponds, but yeah, there's 16 ponds.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, how many ponds did you fill for your Sankey spawning?
Between they're sort of semi-mixed. So there's 16 ponds. That first round of Sankey and Kahaku, we've done 16 ponds, and I don't know, maybe 100,000 fish knocking on. But I will have so few fish
left at the end of it.
A bit.
I'm just going to go on to So to give people an understanding, how many acres of water have you got? But for merely just for your operation there or thereabouts.
For the koi operation, probably 15 acres in total.
Okay, so the likes of Sakai Fish Farm have got some at like 260 acres of water to breathe from. Okay, so when you look at the scale of operation, all right, Rick's gone from one spawning set to achieve what he has to get a very small number of excellent quality. Sakai has got 50, 60 spawning ponds that all go into mud ponds with X amount of staff. And when you look at the scale of the operation, again, he will only draw right back into a small percentage, 1% of all of that spawn to achieve the levels that he does. So when you look at the price in comparison, he's chucked away 50 times what Rick's chucked away. So therefore, to cover what he has, and to get the best quality, and they're from fish that are his number one, like pedigrees, like what Rick was saying, to get the best. And let's face it, some of the best turn out shit as well. that, you know, from the percentage that he keeps. So when you look at the scale of operation, Japanese fish will always have that premium put on them, with the added expenses to the business on top of that. That's why the Japanese will always rule in the koi world. You know, it's just,
And it's the amount of time that they've been doing it as well, isn't it? If Rick had established his business, or the New Forest Koi had established when Dainichi did, there might have been.
Dainichi's quite a young one. We probably ain't far off, mate.
I mean, Sakai.
That was a shit choice, then, wasn't it?
So Sakai
You know what I'm
Fish Farm
saying?
started in
The
1890.
bloodlines are not, are they?
But we can't. Yeah, but it's a different. It's a different. It's an industry that it's like the whiskey industry in Scotland, isn't it? That's what they do and have done for however long. What we're trying to do is fulfill a market, so we don't have to import shit from countries that are producing shit for the sake of producing shit and importing stuff and people buying it. It can be fulfilled, and if we have some better end fish at the end of the day, great. If we can supply clean, happy, healthy fish without people having to buy fish from 72 different countries around the world, bringing in all the health problems that they bring in, then that's got to be a bit of a bonus, isn't it? Keeping people employed in this country, it's got to be better than buying in stuff from elsewhere. As long as the price and quality match. I don't know. There's got to be I think we've done 105,000 fish in the last 3 weeks gone off the farm.
Shit.
So
It's nuts, isn't it?
That's mental, man. I know you said they'd done, and I knew it would be more than us and us all together, regardless. But that's a lot of fish, man.
It is a lot of fish, but we like last year had 500,000 fish on the waiting list to go out.
What I can't understand.
They're all turning into fish that are going to feel, you know, people buy them and grow them, and things happen, things eat them, they lose them, whatever, you know, and it's.
I was just about to say that, Rich. We call ourselves hobbyists, but we must be really shit at the job if we're losing that many fish each year.
But you know, you at the end of the day, imagine. So we had Eden working today doing our Kurokos, and he goes, "Oh, this is boring. I've done you know a few hundred or whatever. We might do tops 50,000, 100,000 black shower fry or whatever."
Definitely.
And you think one farm, momentarily, reckon they do 5 million black fry from their shower spawnings.
Shit.
5 million. So we're not even 1% of one farm in Japan.
So is Sakai one of Sakai's fish farm houses, like his koi house, has got 29 ponds, which covers 2,532 meters squared. That's just one of his.
That's
fish
just
houses.
one.
Yeah, but they're a multi-million-pound powerhouse, aren't they, in the industry?
And he's got 15 of those.
I just need to bring this one up. I just spot this. Tony, I might get shot here, but I do think there's 100% stud art tax. Only from one.
Which you've got to be careful there, guys, haven't you?
Well, I can say for the gentleman that I work for, goes out there, mate, and he puts effort in and goes above and beyond to make sure that nothing but the finest quality that he can handpick himself comes back to UK. And I'm not going to blow his trumpet because at the end of the day, his statistics.
Ricky's a blinder.
He's proven out there by competing in Japan just how good a fish he can pick, mate. So,
to be fair, I think that's a bit unfair. They're both. At the end of the day, they're people who've been in the industry.
I can't say nothing about it.
They do different things.
It would be unfair to comment.
Fish. You can't knock the way Ricky grows fish, man.
Exactly. Mate, I have walked through there and I have seen those fish that Rick. Right, you know what everybody always says, and I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the camera doesn't do them justice. God damn, man. I swear to God, those fish that he's got in there, that he has grown on, and he's grown them on from this, they're fucking massive. And they are bodied up just like the fish that we were looking at and we're seeing over there in the Japan koi shows. That profile, that bulk, that mass to him, 100%. That guy can grow some damn nice fish. Can't knock him for that at all.
So there
Can't
you
knock
go. So
No, I
it's
wouldn't
got
knock him.
quite a nice- credit where credit's due.
Yeah, damn right.
We're not all perfect, are we? So there we go.
It's not a slagging contest anyway. That's not
No,
what
no, it isn't.
it's about.
But there was one thing. I mean, I know that technically we're talking over what was said and what went on and what went on from last week. Yeah,
Indoors.
gotta be
Oh, here he comes. The rough one.
But
Well,
there
I
was-
just said a very nice little comment about myself there. I was just referring, is that my brother or me?
I knew that'd get his fucking steam.
That's
going.
that's why I addressed it and said I can say for the gentleman that I work for, mate, that you go out there and you are showing that you are waving the flag for those guys over there in Japan with what you're picking and what you're entering and what you're doing out there, mate. So
Fleshy bagpipe time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd like to address them comments anyway, because I think whatever that is complete and utter fucking bullshit. to be
yeah,
quite
there
frank.
is.
I feel
No.
very, very deeply offended by that. So, yeah, there is one honest out of the two, and it's fucking me, not anybody else. My brother, I'm not speaking for him, but what I do, I think it's very fair to industry. I try and pass on as much as I possibly can. So
I think that's what they were saying.
That's just exactly what I said, mate. Yeah.
No, and I hope that is the case. And if that is the case, then fine. But yeah, just be
Yeah,
aware.
let's not jump on a bandwagon.
No,
Yeah,
but I've
yeah.
got the same
Okay,
surname,
it's
I'm
like
carrying
a-
that- I'm not carrying that weight around me. That does offend me a lot. So
There you go. There's an apology just popped up. So,
apology accepted.
so
Thanks.
But anyway,
right,
boys,
Gaz, have a look at what I just sent you. If you can, just yourself. I've just sent you a link to show you how big the operation of just one fish farm is in Japan. It tells you all the ponds, all the mud ponds, and it gives you the measurements of water volume as well. I think it's fucking insane when you look at
It is
it.
insane, mate. If I had half their money, I'd have half their pond space, wouldn't I?
Yeah, but yeah, mate, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you look at what you do, Rick.
Look at the size of the filtration that we've got.
But this is what should be shared with people. So,
80 ponds, 225,760 meters square.
yeah, scroll down.
That sounds like fucking
That's
Ryan's
one
back garden.
greenhouse.
It's dad's.
That's one greenhouse.
Yeah, that's just one.
Can you not show what you're looking at?
Yeah.
People can see the scale.
So we'll start back here. There is, in fact, I shall post it in there, then everybody can have a look at their own leisure, because there is a little video there and a movie guide.
There you go. That's the new greenhouse. The champion house
2,532 meters square,
with
29
29 tons.
15 greenhouses, 175 ponds, 7,320 meters square.
Bearing in mind that is 7.5 kilometers.
Sterilization facilities, mud ponds, 130 mud ponds, 104,373 meters square.
That's like the distance between my house and Ryan's, just in water.
I'll tell you what, boys, I bet a Gatta Koi farm's not far off similar size. It's absolutely huge, that place as well. Massive.
People should look at, I often go on to the Japanese breeders' websites and stuff, because there's some great stuff on there that you can see and learn about. Sakai's got all of his family tree for his bloodlines on PDF that you can just download and look at and start researching bloodlines if that's what you want to do. But it's there.
That's why they make the
loads of
fish house
info.
accessible for K trucks to get through, because they're so big. They can just drive straight through the middle of them. Pretty impressive.
But
Have you-
just a little
That's
bit.
what we're going back to the point, though, isn't it? So what we produce is a minuscule spot for that bottom end of the ladder. People getting into the hobby. We fulfill a role in the market that is crying out for, isn't it? But we ain't supplying.
Absolutely.
We ain't
I
supplying
did
the
actually
better.
just say to Gaz though the day it was funny enough because he's driving around my place on an electric scooter. I think he's taking the absolute piss, to be honest. Like,
Is he really?
yeah,
Lazy
walking
bastard.
down with his food bucket on the side and just throwing it in as he goes by.
Lazy
Absolute
fucker, mate.
piss.
You know what? This week I've hardly fed him. I felt like I better ease off a little bit.
Have you not brought him a quad bike yet, Ryan?
I thought they were looking a bit skinny Gaz this week.
I want one of them quads. Kids were whizzing up and
Get him
down
a
it.
quad,
This-
electric one.
Kids were whizzing up and down it the other week, and grandkids were going up and down on quad. There's little Ryan's little lad coming past, and then next thing you know, it's his cousins running after him, like trying to keep up with him because he ain't wearing a helmet. Like, get off and slow down. Vroom, vroom, down like that. Look at this. Looking at Gaz, in fact, there. We'll start it with this before you just posted it. If you want to know how hard it is, ask Gaz. There's more to it than what I thought, mate. And I'll genuinely, I mean, I know we've done a lot of construction and what have you, but when there's nothing to do, there's always something to do. Even when you think you've got a steady day, it turns into a manic day. And it's definitely, but yeah, I have a stone and a half, nearly 2. But I think that's literally, yeah, I literally think
That's worry touching your fish.
No.
It's like that.
But I think you need to bring in some more buns and stuff.
Get my dad baking that cheesecake, mate. That's what we're
Oh,
pushing.
mate, that were well good. Kev, that was nice, wasn't it? If you're watching, if you're not, you'll catch it.
Did Kev have double?
No, he didn't. No, he's in mint condition, is Kev, and he's looking after
Is he?
himself.
Fuck. He ain't in mint condition. He's about as
I'm not
mint
having that.
condition as me.
No. Yeah, no. Forget that.
I'm not going to say no. I can't listen, Ryan. At the end of the day, both of you is my boss. I can't turn around and say no bad about my boss.
You fucking can. It's end of
You
business.
can.
Come in and
isn't
say,
it?
hey, I'll have you know I'm in mint condition because you both say it. So that's why to come out.
No,
But
but
he
Gaz,
only
Fucking,
had-
I'll tell
all
you
the
something.
time, though.
They are fucking liars, mate.
He did have the biggest.
I'll
piece.
say how it is. Lying bastards, both of them. None of them. I've seen Ryan in mint condition with. Can you just put some that stuff in me eye craft? Fucking medic. Mint condition.
Hey, I
What
didn't knock
stuff's that
sick, bro.
crafty?
I didn't knock sick, bro. I was there every day on it.
You weren't in
Ray-Bans
mint
on the
condition,
lot.
though, bro.
They were mint condition looking like that with his eyeball. Yeah. Is the koi hobby big in Japan? What sort of ponds do they have?
Should ask Asumi. Is she
I
watching?
mean, Gaz, you can tell us about the general overlay of a pond because you was fucking swimming in one when you were out there. So you can get us some pond floors. I mean, how do they slope down or are they flat?
Well, on the particular one that I were in, I'll tell you now, right? That were near. That were over,
5,000 fish swimming around his nuts.
we're over 6.5 foot deep and it definitely had a sloping side from left to right and from front edge to back sloped in either. Because when I stood on it and went woof straight over my head.
Is it about time we can share that photo to GKP or what?
No, mate. No.
Oh, it's already been. It's been on, isn't it?
Oh.
Get him on.
No,
The
it
video's
was a stone and a half. It was a stone and a half heavier then, so he wasn't in mint condition, was it?
To be honest, mate, with the last few 9 to 10 months of my job with who I was previously working with, I weren't doing nowhere near as much work because the workload dropped off and the amount that needed to be done dropped. And
Really? And I was speaking to Ryan this morning. He was telling me how much of a lazy fucker you are at work. So you must have been really bad in your last job, mate.
He spent most of it on the phone, on the camera, like that. This job.
I'm running that place single-handedly, apart from fishing and picking and the rest of it.
Fuck, you're right. That's exactly how it should be as well.
It's not at all. It's a load of shit. It's definitely a lot more harder than what I expected. And the heat
A lot
wise,
to think about, isn't it?
it is, mate. Yeah, it is.
Summer's not here yet. What do you mean the heat?
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
It's warm, man, in them polytunnels. That's one thing. I know what Ryan said, like it's going to be hot in there. It's going to
Wow.
be hot.
What's wow?
Warm. It's a little bit. It's not quite hot, but it's warm. When you walk in there, honest, Ryan, today, you said it today. It were lashing it down this morning. It literally sounded like it were going to come through polytunnel. It belted it down. Within 10 minutes of Ryan being there, we said, right, we'll get some photos and what have you done, because it was overcast, perfect lighting, perfect to do it. We got everything set up and sun come out. 5 minutes and it was chuffing red hot in there, wasn't it? It went from being warmish to
Wow.
It went from warm to boiling.
Warm to fucking warm.
Yeah, fucking warm. It was definitely fucking warm. Kev, see, there he is. He's here. He's in mint condition. Look.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Gets above 70 days, we can leave and go home. Definitely. I don't think you'll get above 75 degrees, but we'll all be baked if it does.
It might do proper in a good heat wave in August.
It does. Honestly, that's one thing that surprised me more than anything. I really didn't expect them to be that warm. I know I've been in yours a few times, but every time I've been down at, never mind bigger slice, never mind having a bigger slice. Yours were the bigger slice. It 100% was. You know it was.
Yeah, when you ever come down to ours, it always rains.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Now it comes a cloud.
It was warm in yours, but it was just warm. But
Have you got the entry? Have you got the entry to your gaff sorted yet, Ryan?
Entry.
Just before your new ponds. That bit there. It's always squelchy there, mate.
It's
Been that long since you've been, you won't recognise gaff now. It's like turning up at Rick's now, but you got to wipe your feet on way in now, so don't worry about that.
Have you?
Oh, mate.
You got Japanese slippers just inside the gate.
Listen, with that posh now, mate, we've even upgraded to a 4-slice toaster in office for you.
Yes.
Oh, check that
And
out.
the microwave is fastened to the wall. It's on brackets.
Is that so you can't take it home?
Kitchen's I put it there. We've got full kitchen. In fact, we've even got hot and cold running water now, haven't we?
Come on, mate, we're all in.
Yeah, that'll work anyways.
Mint.
Check you out. Hot water.
Yeah.
So, Kraft, Matt, or Rick, or whenever on the graces with your presents, kettle's always on, boys. You know what I mean?
Kettle's always
Might even
on.
fetch you a little. We might upgrade you from Rick's tea biscuits to an hobnob, depending. You know what I mean?
Kraft, you won't come up for anything less than a chocolate hobnob, would you, Kraft?
Oh, yeah, we've got chocolate hobnobs as well, boys. If
Got to be dark chocolate though.
You keep Marmite on stock for the old toaster.
I can tell you're not in mint condition on dark chocolate, bro.
Mate, fucking, if you're going to have cocoa, you're going to have cocoa, mate, not fucking milk. You know what I mean?
LOL, 4-slice toaster, you boys made it.
Absolutely.
If you've got Marmite, Ryan, I'll be up there.
Yeah, I'm the same. If you've got Marmite on there.
You name it.
Well,
Jam? Fucking hell, you're pushing the
To be
boat
fair,
out with
mate,
jam.
it's not the case at all. It's
Oh, mate, you're going to
Everybody keeps
downplay that, Gaz. I heard Ryan on the phone this morning when I was
bins.
talking to him.
No,
He
it
was like,
doesn't leak no more, mate. We started it, cured it.
As soon as he walked into the fish house, he was like, Gaz, I'll have coffee, 2 sugars with milk, please.
No, he walked it. Do you know? I tell you what, actually, right?
I know what's coming here.
Yeah, you know what's coming. I turned around and said to him today, right? Fancy a brew, mate? No, I'll have a cold one. So he went into the fridge, got himself a nice bottle of cold pop, left it on side, half drunk, went up to house, come back down with a pot of tea. Stood there with a pot of tea, put a pot of tea down, and left that half drunk.
Fucking left it. I'm terrible. Every time it makes me a brew, mate, I end up fucking taking 2 sips and leaving it outside. It's great. I get too busy.
That's why I drink coffee, mate. You can drink it cold, can't you?
I need one of them apps where you can just put it inside here with straws that just go in.
Yeah, you do.
There you go. That's his little nudge, Gaz, for when it's his birthday, mate.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Andrew says, Ryan, now Gaz works for you. Do you have to keep the sake under lock and key?
Apparently not. No, he just orders it like it's like ordering a cup of tea. Yeah, I'll have a bag when you're ready. No problem, Gaz. I'll bring it, son. Don't worry about me. 2 days later, you got another bag in there, are you? Yeah, mate. No problem. Here's another bag. Oh, I need a bit of colour just to mix in with these ones now as well.
I never did that at all. Hey, do you know, talking of which, what did
Check
you do?
his pockets, mate. Check his pockets when he gets home, because
What did you
I've
do?
seen on his videos, mate, he's got bins of it in his shed now. Fucking loads of it, mate.
The bin came from your shop. What did you do with the stack of colour food today before you left?
Oh, yeah, I left it open
Yeah.
in the office floor. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
I closed it up, mate, and I put it back on shelf.
I knew that.
Should have bins.
Cold coffee, DT says no thanks. Yeah, should make him eat them, make him drink them. Sack of the fence making cold tea doesn't matter being left for the hours. Yeah, see, there was a gentleman that came up the other day and he turned around and he said, "I prefer it when it goes cold, doesn't it?"
Oh, yeah.
Bro, wait until it gone cold.
Can't think about worse. Cold
Yeah.
brew.
Right, what are you going to talk about McCoy then? Or what?
Yeah.
Why bother? Talk about the team.
When we're doing Koi Appreciation, anyway.
Not
Whenever
yet.
you're ready.
Tomorrow.
Oh, come on.
Matt, when are we having pups? When's Nala due? Got to be
Wednesday.
soon. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Next week it'll be pup appreciation. They'll be like,
Well,
We did have one question. I think that's actually posted.
New pond, Tom's coin.
God, you sound like Rocket Boy is puffing on that thing. It's all a hero does, like Darth Vader.
Sorry.
Sweet caramel fudge cake or something he was on
I'm
today.
paranoid now. Oh God. There we go. Sure we had one question that we whacked in here. I'm pretty sure it was something to do with Flukes as well. Steve Kendrick says, with so many people suffering from flukes and many of the marketed treatments seeming ineffective, should the medication manufacturers step their game up to improve the effectiveness of their products?
It's an hard one, isn't it?
It'd be nice if we could use products that really, really worked.
The issue you got, I think I've mentioned this before, there's a case study on Fluke treatment that's readily available. I think it was, I can't remember, I might be wrong, but I think it was on Paula Reynolds' Lincolnshire Fish Health website with Fluke treatment. And basically for example, like the LearnX Pro, the dosage that they put in that, it was put through the test with ponds that were identical with the same sort of stock density. One was filtered, one wasn't. And when the dose was put in, it was seen that the one with filtration was nowhere near as effective as the one without filtration. So basically, from the way that I gathered, it's like if you've got a pond of water that is this volume, right, that dose should be a lot more effective, because a lot of the time the filtration within your system strips out. It does really strip out the medication within your pond anyway. So, you know, they're always going to keep it on an even keel where it's not going to, well, it's a bit of a conspiracy, and it's like they never tell you it's enough, so you keep coming back to buy more. You know, when they come back and say it's about fish health, you know, but truth be known is you shouldn't, or you don't really ever follow the dosage instructions once you get used to it.
Oh, but on that one, Craft, it's quite interesting because if you actually phone up the manufacturers and tell them they will actually tell you to up the dosage and do it a totally different way to what's on the package.
Yep.
The package has to be the absolute safest, lowest level that might work.
Excuse me, boss.
That's the problem. And there's so many variables with a pond that how do you ever treat it? It's a massive issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you've got an active ingredient like praziquantel that reacts to different light levels, different filtration, different amounts of UV, different amounts of all organic matter, different amounts of stock density, different temperatures to get them to absorb the chemical, how do you have a packet that says you've got to put this amount in this amount of water?
Totally right. Totally right.
It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
So they've got to put a safe amount on that hopefully will do a job.
Yep.
Well, you imagine
Well-
on a natural pond using the dosage that they say for PP. It would be literally brown within seconds. Probably wouldn't even go purple.
Yeah, but
And see, Labs have just released a PP treatment now, so
at the end of the day, all treatments have to be taken in regard to the ponds they use them, what you're trying to do. It's just one of those, and it's a learning curve, which is why experience and having someone you can talk to is so important.
He's still got that.
Yeah, as well. That's as well.
there's a question at 12 minutes past 9, Gus.
What, you keeping records, Crafty?
He's good, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I can see the comments, mate.
I can't put them up, otherwise I can't concentrate on being good on the panel.
Yeah, I can multitask, mate. Yeah, that's the problem. It's what's in your hand that's the problem, mate.
That one. Guys, what's the ideal temperature to grow jumbo koi?
Go on, Ryan, you hit this one first.
Define jumbo koi.
I can't believe Tom's even asking that, because have you seen his Chagoy swamp and how big they are?
Yeah, they are pretty much.
2 above that, Gus.
2 above.
The
I'm
point
right, I'm
again
right.
is, what age are you? So a koi, if you're going to grow a koi jumbo, you're probably talking at 7 years. So at 1 year old, you might talk at 30 degrees, and then 29, 20. So a koi at 70 centimeters doesn't want the same temperature as a koi at 20 centimeters to get the most out of it. So it's a slide. It's almost like a sliding scale. So to get the maximum out of a young fish, you're probably looking at almost 32 degrees. And to get the maximum out of an older koi, you're probably dropping down almost to 23, 22, 23 degrees. So you've got again, it's all relative, isn't it? It's not one temperature is perfect. What point?
But then on top of that, Rick, you then have to look at your feeding schedule against what your stocking density is, against what your filtration can achieve. Because actually, you could go. Yeah, but you could go too hot, not feed enough, and actually have a detrimental effect on the condition of your koi, right?
Well, you can, yeah. But hopefully, you're going to feed them as much as you can, aren't you? You're not going to heat them and not feed them.
Especially in polytunnels, though, you can't control temperature like now. If I went at 24 degrees, unless I'm chilling it, you can't. You know, we've had it in arts at summer where it's been nearly 30 anyway, throwing toes eye, because you can't control it. It's impossible.
He's asked what's the best temperature, isn't he? So I'm just there, and it goes from we get the best growth when they're younger is higher. It is over 30 degrees, isn't it?
Let's face it, you've got to aim for minimum of 24 degrees for optimum growing temperatures. If you're feeding Saki, if you're feeding Saki growth and colour, let's face it, you've got to be at minimum 24 regardless to get maximum results out of whatever you're feeding at that current time.
But if you've got a 90 centimetre fish, you don't want it at 28 degrees. No. I mean, you're running the risk.
Have a fucking heart attack and die.
Yeah. Well, this is the big problem I've been saying about the
size and age and temperature.
This is my whole argument about what's happening at Montero now with this new lineage of Tosai. Yeah, it's all well and good achieving great size and results, but the longevity of the koi has never been great there anyway. You know, I've had so many clients' fish die there in Azakari. It's the worst farm for Azakari results I've possibly known. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, every farm's up and down Azakari. It happens, but generally for the same things: backbone snapping, bellies blowing out, exhaustion. All of the above, it's the common denominator. And bearing in mind, I work very closely with one of the top hobbyists in England, and he's had, again, astronomical amounts of deaths there. Yeah, an awful lot. And it's the same thing because they're constantly out the mud pond, indoors, being grown. They never get a break. And it's constantly the whole way through that whole cycle. It don't work. And there's so many of the same people, especially a lot of the Asian guys I speak to. The death rate's astronomical there. And that's
what they're doing at a moment. Their thing is they became famous for growing massive fish at every age class, you know. And you'll see videos on 85 centimeter sands or whatever, and it's like it's insane.
But if they can do that, though, it was like this classical thing when Maraju had that really famous Tancho show that they had. Yeah, that fish looked the absolute nuts before it died. And that was like 10 years old. And it was like, you know, say it was like 90, for argument's sake, it looked in really good youthful condition still. The condition of the koi, it didn't look old, it didn't look aged, and it was growing really progressively, really nice, and they weren't pushing it. The problem is when I always question, especially with the fish down south, are they physically as hardy as the fish in the north? Because the way they're being grown, I think it being honest, it's too much. I've honestly, I've never seen anything like it.
Of course, but you must know yourself as to it. You can't. If you imported a batch of fish and went, well, actually, I'm going to toughen them up and put them through 10 degrees up to 25, back down, treat them harsh, make them hard, you're going to lose a load of fish, aren't you? But if you kept them at 28 degrees, you ain't going to lose none. They're going to do all right, but you're going to be able to grow them to a point where it goes wrong, isn't it?
You can't give fish a constant 12-month heavy feeding cycle like they're doing down there. It's nigh on impossible. I don't physically. It's my personal preference. I don't believe in it, to be honest. I really don't.
No, it's just devil's advocate, isn't it? It's if to grow koi like they do, you've got to do that. But the longevity, you've got there is scopes for everything, isn't there?
Especially when you're paying the prices, though. This is the problem as well. The prices, I mean, some of the koi down there, let's face it, we're on a different league and scale as well. And honestly, the rates of death is frightening, and but they're striving to get that 1 or 2 koi that are growing absolutely humongous by 3-4 year old. But what for? That's my big question. What are they doing it for?
But this was raised a decade ago by Mike, wasn't it? About that issue of, yes, you can get them to 80 cm, 90 cm as 5-year-old fish, but then they're keeling over and having that. You haven't got the long, and the parents they use are quite young because they're using the fastest growing offspring for the next generation because you're accelerating that life cycle in a way, but also they're producing some of the best fish, isn't it? It's hard.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, when they produce the fish that you see, you think, shit, like, especially, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. You go to Old Japan, and don't get me wrong, the likes of Sakai take over. It's frightening. Gaz has seen it, like the scale and the size of the Gosanki.
Dudes everywhere.
Spectrum, even the male koi, but then you come to like Momotaro, they seem to sort of weather away a little bit. And they never seem to be, over the last few years, they're not dominating at the real top level. But then they come to the Wakagoi when they're achieving 63 and under, and they're absolutely like, even the IJKS, they're smashing the place to bits at the moment. The last 2 years, they've been so strong in those shows. They took GC at pretty much, every one. But obviously, at the Old Japan, it seems to be real loggerheads at the minute between Dainichi and Sakai.
It's different philosophies, so in a different way. If they're growing fish and maturing them quicker, getting them bigger, they suit different shows. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be really impressive one day to see like a 4-year-old fish at like 90 odd centimeters. Don't get me wrong, you'd be thinking, shit, but then what does that fish physically look like? Yeah, well, yeah, it's got no gills and it's actually taking its last breath. But yeah, it would be impressive, but I don't see to me, I just don't see the physical point in it. I just don't understand it, to be honest. But
pushing it beyond its limitations. Too much. Too fast, too quick.
That's what they're looking for. Then great, and they accept the fact of that can happen. Like anything, raising jumbo koi in a jumbo way, it can happen. Yeah, but when it's continually happening, it's a lot. I mean, yeah. I've spoke to a few people out there. They lose, it's not just a couple of fish every now and then. It's like masses every year, and it's a lot to sustain. But yeah, I mean, but you never heard of them sort of losses like a Sakai because they're looking at it in a different perspective. They're doing it in the right way. So I don't know. It's difficult because obviously every breeding, people that breed koi or breeders, they're looking to strive for something new, and obviously they're looking at trying to get fish absolutely humongous in this new lineage they're creating, which is fine. I'm just saying, for me, I think it's a bit of a pointless exercise. I don't see it because I don't see longevity in it at all.
But there's a flip side. A lot of our Momotaro parents were massive very quickly, but as soon as you put them in an environment that isn't prone for growth, they just stop.
Yeah,
and then they live. Well, we've had them for ages. There's not an issue with it. Their longevity is not an issue as long as you pull back the temperatures, pull back that side of it. But yeah, they do grow very quickly given that opportunity.
Mm.
But if you keep them in that growing environment, yes, they will die young because, I don't know, the metabolism, the whole thing just goes too quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you can slow that down quite quickly by bringing them to England and not heating them.
Yeah.
I think
Stick them in my pond, I can stop them growing right quick.
You could just nail them.
Paul Windmills asked the question, another new bait question. When stocking a new pond and system, what products would you use and how would you add the fish and the quantity?
Go on, Matt. You've been quiet for ages.
Yeah, Matt.
Go on, Matt.
This is yours, Matt. It's your time
Yeah.
to shine.
Come on,
Tell
Matt.
him all. It's got to be a drum and you must have a Boxwell liner in. Fitted by.
The arsehole. It's a hard one because everybody always says, "Oh, I use this product and it was bloody brilliant." How do you gauge to what one product is good over another one? But what I can say from experience was recently I've done the new polytunnel. Each of the tanks had 250 fish in, 7,000 litres on average, and I was using the Koi Zoomy stuff, and it did the job. Yes, I did get ammonia. Yes, I did get nitrite, but within 6 weeks, I was totally clear of all ammonia and all nitrite. Whether that was the product, who knows? Again, it's one of those items that somebody needs to do a test. Exactly the same situation, same amount of food, same amount of water, same amount of fish in there to see which one matures the quickest. But I reckon there must be a lot of gimmicky stuff out there that says it does this and it doesn't.
Paul, I hope you're happy with that well explained answer there from Matt Howie Coy Dorset.
What do you use? Right, sorry, Ryan.
Generally, when we sterilise systems out of fish queen, we use PSB. Obviously, when we introduce anything, obviously like into a quarantines period, obviously we come into like anything, we'll put them in obviously salt, the biggest one to help them settle in. And obviously, yeah, we have PSB to obviously combat the fact of you getting nitrite spikes or, you know, ammonia spikes. We use PSB and that's it. There's not a lot really after, obviously, apart from your general medications, if any parasitical problems arise. Again, my biggest recommendation, anything from Kasori or Colombo especially, absolutely solid in terms of what it does for what we use. And that's the only thing we do use. We don't use anything else. Again, but it's just mainly it's keeping on top of your system. But again, it's being sensible. You've got to put enough fish in to obviously get the system maturing and going, but you can't put too many fish into the fact of it's going to cause you problems. And again, be careful on the feeding. Don't feed them too, you know, just the general things, just being sensible, really. It's not, there's no right or wrong. You know, like for me, I'll go from a completely sterilized, switched off system in autumn and I'll put, you know, 60 Nisai in a 1,500 gallon pond. You know, and it is what it is. They've got to, you know, they have to get on with it. And that's the thing. But I always use PSB. Again, feeding, you've got to be careful with. Obviously, they're leaking a lot of ammonia out into the system when they're coming in and doing that as well. So, again, you know, you've got to be really sensible when you're doing it. But just it's having the right products that work and everyone finds their own. Again, like Matt said, he's used something that he finds works. I've had the same stuff for years and I've never stayed away from that. I've always had literally, chloramine tea. I've had PP and Colombo range, and that's basically what I've used, and that's it. I don't use anything else, and it's always worked. And they're very, very good products as well, and they're very well priced for what they are. So
you need to, Geordie Coy Dave, you need to know what your ammonia reading is. Have you already put it in there?
I was just about to read it out there. Then had an ammonia spike on the pond. Stopped feeding the koi for a week. Done a water change. Is there anything else I can do? You can add zeolite.
There's no good backing off. You've got to keep feeding the pond and feeding the system. You can't. The biggest thing is like I said, it's feeding sensible amounts, but continuing to drive through it because too many people think that, dump half at water, I'll fill it back up with fresh, and the system can't ever mature and stabilize enough. You've got to keep feeding that system. Yeah, we had a customer a couple of years ago, started doing something very similar in quite a big pond. And I was like, mate, just you're not smashing food. I'm not going talking feeding 8 times a day, but you've got to be sensible in the amount of food that you're putting in, feeding it regular and often, and just keep topping the system up. Again, keep using the PSP, keep on top of the filters. Do smaller water changes, not big ones. If you need to,
10%.
small water to keep feeding the system. It's no good shying away from it.
I think it all depends, doesn't it, on the levels. If you had a level 2 on your ammonia, then you wouldn't be leaving it at 2. You'd have to do water changes.
Green going blue. Theta sieve, bead, and UV into a backy shower and 8 koi various solid, nothing bigger than 25 cm. How big's your pond? 2,000 litres. Again, I'd agree with what the Colombo test kit, right? So it's not over the top. Your ammonia readings, people react so. To say that they're a little bit too keen to react against ammonia reading, right? If it's green just going blue, you're still not really in the danger zone for the ammonia anyway. So you're overreacting against the read. You've got to do what Ryan says, which is I 100% back. Is you've got to feed through it. If you're only doing 2 feeds a day, all right, you've got to keep doing that, because if you haven't got anything to feed the bacteria that you're trying to produce, coming off the food is only going to stop that bacteria from colonizing further. So
you've also got to use. The biggest thing is using that. Yeah, look at what your fish are telling you. If your fish are hanging and they're not right, or there's something majorly wrong with them, act on it. If they're not and they're fine, it's funny enough, guys. What did you say to me the other day with a pond? He said, "Should I go and test water?" I said, "Well, I went like that." Mate, nitrite could be like fucking blood in there, and you just chuck a bit more salt in, keep feeding them, fucking get on with it, because the fish are fine. That's the difference. You look at the fish are telling you they're absolutely 100% correct.
They were though, weren't they? They were cock on.
Rest of it, we check KH. The one thing we test for around there on a regular basis is KH, and that is it. Rest of it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
it's not irrelevant, but to me, it's just you use that first. If your fish are telling you there's something wrong, then deal with it.
They show you, don't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because a lot of people are always striving for nitrite to be, 0. Yeah, Jesus, I've seen nitrite, like blood samples coming out of growing ponds. Don't matter, but you look at them and you think, oh, yeah, they're stacking it on. Yeah, chuck a bit more food in, get on with it. You know what I mean? It's all about observation. It's the biggest thing on any koi pond. And it's one thing I've always said to guys when you're walking in the morning, observation. Yeah. That's the biggest thing about anything in that koi house is observation. It's not about...
By which, Ryan, as you said, I mean, when I go in now, I open up, and then I walk round, and I study each pond. I look, I check out to see how the fish are acting. I don't just go, oh, yeah, there's no dead ends, and move on, and watch them for a little bit. And I'm not talking, 20, 30 minutes. I'll sit there and I'll stand there and have a look at them and look at them and look at them and move down them, and to see if there's anything acting or behaving, anything, different to normal.
And it's not that. The biggest thing even in our environment is Gaz goes in, I go in, my dad goes in, we all go in. Because between 3 people, you can walk up and down there within 5 minutes, and instantly if someone's missed something, someone else might pick up on it. And that's the best thing. Within 10 space of 10, 15 minutes in the morning, similar sort of thing. This morning I've walked in and gone, seen something in there. Yeah, but by then it's that's the fact of doing it. It's not just leaving it to somebody to do it and think, oh, like you say, there's no deads, it's fine. Or, the fish behavior is completely off. Straight away, like this morning, one at growing ponds, clearly get, up feed on it, too much food, water's completely off, but fish are still acting fine. We've got to act on that. We don't just leave the feeder going. We've got to act on it and go, right, filters need doing. We need to add some more water. We need to set feeder off for, at least 24 hours so the pond can correct itself, then start going again. It's the biggest thing. It's just observation. It's the biggest key to it all. Too many people will go straight in, diving in. Oh, check my ammonia, check my nitrite. It's all gone to shit, and it's like, whoa, we'll start.
Yeah. They create more problems by chasing the numbers on the test kits.
Too much fresh water as well. Sometimes is more harmful than anything else. Especially when you know your environment. I don't want too much fresh water in my ponds. I want probably 20% in growing ponds each week, and that's it. I don't want any more than that, because otherwise the pond loses its balance. And you've got to keep that water in there rather than just keep dropping it, chucking fresh in, and it's blitzing sister. You've got to take your time and just think, right, Are the fish happy? Yeah. Do I need to knock back on food? Yeah, a little bit. Or like I say, just keep leaving a little loft, and just rather than going in like some people do, they'll chuck a full mug full in, or they'll start smashing it all over the place. You just got to take your time with it. And again, have the right products on hand. If you need to act on it, you can do. And that's the biggest thing. Don't just go black bull in a china shop.
Yeah, 100%.
I was just saying observation and
A KH and pH are fine.
that. But observation, most people don't. They don't know what they're kind of looking for. They don't see the difference between how the koi behave.
Well, yeah.
Hour to hour.
Standard obvious signs though, Rick. If you walk up to your fish and they're looking sick or they're not happy, like generally you'd know. If they're clamped or they're not looking right.
Of course you would, but some people don't. They just think, oh, they're not happy. They're all sat over in that corner, or they've not come to see me today, or they're not showing signs of flicking or laying on the bottom half.
Again, especially like in a new system, the biggest thing is stocking levels. That's the main thing there as well. Depending on the size of the pond that you've got, there's no good buying walking into a shop and saying, "Oh, well, don't buy many," and you buy 5 fish for like 1,000-gallon pond. So all instant, them 5 fish will just sink into the corner and look for shelter. They just
won't even come and feed.
Yeah, they don't want to come up and feed. So that's not a sales tactic on any part from a dealer's perspective. That is genuine advice to say, look, let's be sensible about it. We need, again, if you're buying 10 to 12 cm fish, you need probably 20 or 30 of them. Let's face it, because if you put them in 1,000 gallons, even still, 30 little fish in 1,000 gallons, you're going to go nowhere. You can put them in a blue bowl. You put 100, 10 to 12 lads, don't you? When you unbag them on shipment night, 10 to 12 cm fish put in a blue bowl, it looks like a piss pool in bottom of a bottle. It looks nothing. In a 60 cm blue bowl, it doesn't look anything. But when you put them in 1,000 gallons, they get lost.
Yeah.
That's to create an environment where the fish are comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're not happy being in a tiny amount of them. Never are.
No, not at all. They're shy. They're not. They will actively hide if they can.
It's same again. If you get in a new system, go to that thing. Is what do I actually want? Do I want small koi? Do I want something mid-size, 2025? Do I want Nisai? Depending, again, ask yourself that question. There's no good traps. I want that Nisai. I want an handful of 10 to 12s. I want this, because then again, environment's not great. It's just it's too much. That one big fish will start destroying small fish environment for them, and it's again depending what you want from it. It's like I'd say to anybody, when you get a grow-on system, what do you want from that grow-on? Do you want to take a certain batch of fish from one breeder, or do you want to look for something? But again, you look at all the similar size. Like when I'm at growing ponds, like I said to Gaz, did an exercise the other week. I was like, I've kept some fish for growing, but instantly I started looking through and I was like, I've got 2 sizes of fish here. I can't put them all into one growing pond because again, we're starting off on like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So then you've got to sit back and assess it and go, well, I've got to get the bigger fish out because they're going to feed the strongest. They got the biggest environment. Then I was like to set the small fish off again in the smaller pond. And at some point they will play catch up, but it split the environment up, and the fish have literally, guys, aren't they, in 7 days, they've completely changed.
They have. Those fish that were in there now, or that were left in the environment where the bigger ones have took out, they've come on leaps and bounds, and they all look bright as a button, and they're feeding like crazy. And you can see the difference by taking that competition out. Those fish have become competitive, whereas before they were hanging off a bit, weren't they? And they were hiding back. And the bigger fish were out feeding them.
But that's helped anyway, Jordy. By the way, your temperatures are fine, mate. They're just natural at the minute.
Perry Williams, I'll bring this next question up, and then we're going to go on to co-appreciation. Otherwise, we're just not going to get through anything tonight. Following on from last week, where you were talking about license inspections, does the panel think that it should be carried out by someone within the industry? I myself experienced the same inspectors within the cattery/kennels. Some of the requirements are plain daft. For example, we were told we had to carry out an appraisal on all staff/owners. My reply was immediately family, to which they replied, still, you need to do them. It's all about the BS on the shelf and less about the care/welfare. Do you think that the actual inspectors should be done by somebody within the industry as opposed to independent?
I think when you look at the inspection on we've just had our snuff inspection. I didn't hear what anyone said last week with regards to the inspection, so I'll attack it from my point of view. So all the inspectors do when they come round ours is make sure that a lot of the health and safety aspects of how the business operates covered. They want an audit trail against the license that you can ensure that anyone working for you is competent. If they're not competent, then they shouldn't be working for you, but you've got to be able to evidence it. The difference is with the pet shop licensing that different starred ratings that, and let's face it, there's a majority of people never even look at the pet shop license anyway, right? But to attain a 5-star license, you have got to have a training schedule in place that overlooks your staffing. You know, it's mental. It is, and a lot of it's bullshit. No, I won't lie.
I got awarded a 5-star today, Crafty.
Oh, congratulations, mate. Well,
And,
How much that cost?
Staff training, just Matt.
yeah,
just yourself.
it was.
Yeah, you know.
It was comical. But the first question she asked me when she came in was, "Are they saltwater or fresh?"
Oh my good God!
And that's
Yeah,
is
it's
it
so
all.
true.
But,
Yeah.
but the documentation that they wanted me to have, we touched on it last week, where they wanted to be able to visually see what day I had to change the UVs.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, we don't need to have the UVs. But the problem is, and I get the question, but the problem is this has been driven from the government downwards. So even if we decided that we were going to bring...
That's not true, Matt, because your pet shop license inspector, Ryan's pet shop license inspector, and my pet shop license inspector, and Rick's pet shop license inspector, we're all in different regions.
Yeah, but I'm
And
talking,
every region has got a completely different set of rules.
yeah, but I'm talking about the
CFAS, aren't they, weren't they? Like
the
my
top
fish
level-
shop regulated on CFAS, and that is the same across the board for everybody.
Yeah. I'm on
Way
about
more
pet shop
ruthless than-
license.
Yeah, but
Just
pet shop
pet shop
license is
license.
just, it's too easy to get one as well, isn't it? Let's
Yeah,
face it,
it's,
I'm not being
yeah,
funny.
it really is. No, it
Trust
is.
me, you could walk out to your back garden now, phone pet shop license, and go, I want to start selling fish out here. They go, yep, done. No problem.
But the pet shop license at my place has got my name on it. I don't even own the business.
the it was
And
interesting.
the left under as well.
Something that I learned from it was that
You get an arm ache after 5 minutes.
Pets at Home have decided that they don't want to have the 5-star. They're quite happy to have the 2-star rating because it saves them doing a lot of paperwork.
What?
But truth is, right? Pet shop license to a business, right, is a paper trail. All right. They asked me, right, can we have a look at your water testing? I've got 54 koi ponds. All right. You need to wait 15 minutes for some of the fucking tests. Right. So what am I going to do? Employ somebody at full time to go around every single pond and do every single water test for 3 times a week and then record all of that information? Because that's what they expect you to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just insane
Well, you're not
what they
crap.
ask.
You just delegate that, don't you?
These rules are coming from people, though. They ain't got a fucking clue about what's in front of them, are they? Let's face it. Like,
Oh yeah,
same-
absolutely.
just a book of fucking,
Bollocks.
yeah.
You know, and it is, but they're only doing their job. They look at what the guidance is that states what you can do as a pet shop, and what legislation they put in place that you must adhere to get that license. All they're doing is checking and ticking boxes to ensure that is happening. Like one thing, they wanted hot water run to our QT area so you can wash your hands next to the QT area.
So
Hot
you should
water,
have
all the fucking
your poor old
breath.
staff with coldy hands.
I said,
Yeah,
we've
even
got toilets.
If we've got water where we can wash his hands, there.
Well, you have now. How long
the
ago was that
middle,
installed? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so in the end, what I've done is I bought a Caravan's portable fucking hand wash basin.
It's that
So
one
there
in
you go.
Porridge on the hot water's on.
It's
Yeah.
a load of old tripe sometimes, but they're only ticking boxes. You know, and if you ain't got it, you ain't got your license. So, you know, you're doomed if you do, and you're not doomed if you don't.
I know, but mate, come on, how many licenses have they actually revoked though? It's the same thing. Even if you ain't got it, you'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll put that in place." Next time they come.
But what was really funny, mate, I had two pet shop license people come to the store to inspect us because one of them was actually based in Cambridge and they haven't got any pet shops. So she come to us so she could get signed off to say she's done an inspection. It's fucking just insane, mate. You know, that's where your money's going.
Wow.
Fucking
Oh yeah,
insane.
Gaz, I have got your gloves in, man. By the way, he's been tonight.
So it turns up now and bring them now. We've finished that building.
Nice grey ones.
Right then, ladies and gents, we're going to get into a bit of koi appreciation.
Oh, do we have to?
Well, we don't.
We do. We have to look at some good fish.
You don't have to appreciate it.
Everyone will be glad to know that Gaz has not been in my fucking stash today because there's not a Garomo in there. I was very pleased about that for 3 minutes.
You've not got a... Oh, in your stash.
Not
right,
in his pet
yeah,
stash.
in his secret stash. Yeah.
Yeah, no pet stash, Gromos. I was explaining earlier on how really careful I am with them and how much I shit my pants messing around with them fish. But right then, first ones. Let's bring this. There's loads. Well, there's not loads. That was a lie. There's a fair few.
We have to finish at 10, Gaz. It's our past.
I know. That's why it's not. Oh shit, Rick, you had me for a second. First one, bought from Perfect Aquatics back in October. Marasaka Garomo was 22, now 30 cm.
Starting to progress well as well, that is.
That's Sarah Louise Swains.
Yeah, I remember when you bought that.
I can say, hand on heart, that's the best one I've seen tonight.
Well done, mate. Winner. Well, that's all that we had.
There you go.
Oh,
Sarah,
fucking
you are
brilliant. Well done. Yeah, that's definitely filling out. Well in.
Next one. Oh, hang on. We've got a few replies here. So, bought from exclusively Koi back in March. Oh, that'll be a second. What was that? That's not going to, that's not right. Is it?
Into 25, so you've got the same growth rate going on. Fucking colours fell off that.
Different fish, mate.
Like a Zoomer. Does that work? Never. Why does that?
First one's still winning it for me.
So we got the video of the first one. Oh, and the second one.
The second together. Look at that. Fucking body on that first one.
It's got some good body on it, hasn't it?
Pinching in a little. Oh, I don't know though.
Looks like Gaz has been feeding him.
They do look like they've had a good dinner. That's me
That's
when I
out of
go
order,
to
mate. I can't
Derby.
believe he's feeding them that much if that's what's happening.
Fucking hell, mate. You having a
I'll
laugh?
get him
I
sacked.
want to see them Ioki, man. They're stacked.
Yeah, you want to see when he walks around with a big fucking orange bucket.
I'd have babies, mate.
I'm going to knife his to fucking match it.
Is that the same one again?
Same
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
He posted them. Right. So Sally Harfield, sorry, my bad.
That's got to be from someone. Matt, is that yours?
That's
No.
right.
The 4-step pattern, isn't it?
It's a nice
So
quote.
should they have red eyes then?
Of course
I
they
quite like
should.
it. I quite
It does
like
look
that.
different
Nice
with
colour.
the red
Is this one
eyes.
of yours, Rick, mate? Is this one of yours, Rick?
No, don't think so.
Let's see.
I don't do many. I don't. It's not something I do.
Hosakai, 28 cm.
That could be from any of us, couldn't it? We all buy from there.
Yeah, it could be fucking anybody.
That's nice.
I actually think the red eyes gives that a bit of feature, actually. It's quite
Yeah,
nice,
me
actually.
too, mate.
Yeah,
I
it
like
does,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the next one is from Rob, or Robert, should I say? Oh,
I recognise that.
You recognise that from a YouTube auction?
yes. That's where it came from.
I think. Yeah, it's a Momotaro, I think.
Is that the? Is that?
Andrew, we've got auto feeders on. I have to fill them too.
Fucking look at this.
That's where all food goes, and that's why he keeps blaming me.
It's not really. It's one of them, isn't it? It is borderline.
I remember if it's the fish that I think it is, it was a slight slow burner. Has he got?
Bought from Crafty's auction
Yeah.
last year. Think it's
It's Momotaro, I think.
Momotaro 53 cm and what it's now 53 cm was 35, just waiting for the row bin to develop.
I'm sure from memory that was a Momotaro.
Yeah, I think I was trying to win that.
Amanda Smith's
From afar.
nice from afar.
Ooh.
I do like this fish.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Seen
that's
this
nice.
before, mate.
So is that called a sumi gourmet?
Wow.
Call it what you like, mate. It's good.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is good.
isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah,
See if there's another video with it. Yes. There is. Bit of the
Oh,
from the
that's
top down.
If you get the white skin to look popping, mate, that
Pristine. Yeah.
better. Top of that, isn't it?
Udo Garoma.
I thought Budo Garoma was the red one, and that
Yeah.
was
Budo's red.
Budo's red. And
It's
the
grape,
black one
actually.
well, yeah, grape, yeah, it is. But what's that one called?
Tell you what, the colour on that's proper.
I'm sure, I'm sure they call it a sumi gourmet.
I think you're right, Matt.
That'd be a first. Fucking hell, we're both agreed with each other.
You're going to stay in
Oh.
the same room for the weekend.
I said think,
That's
mate. I
nice.
said
Right.
fucking think, mate. Don't get
We can-
don't get too
We can do
excited.
bumpers.
Don't get overexcited, Matt. All right.
I
I
think
know
that's
you've
what
had a
you
bit.
call it. I think that's a Budo gourmet.
Yeah, that's a Budo.
Yeah.
Nice Benny.
My issue with that is a bit. It's not even throughout, is it?
What?
Why? Well, we haven't got any.
No, what isn't? What isn't? Oh, what with the sumi?
Probing on the third Dan and the back Dan and whatever. It's just it's like kind of. It's almost like I don't know. It's just not right, is it?
Not yet. It's developing, Rick. It's developing.
Is it? Is it though?
Will it come?
Well,
though?
that could be leaving.
I don't know. I'm judging that at this point and saying absolutely not. I do quite like the fish. The quality is nice, but
Oh,
Is that not an AI Garomo?
You got the book out.
Alcohol, no. AI. Who invented AI? Get out.
He's crafty. Turning the pages quick now.
No. Makes you
That's,
see me.
Ross Jacobs.
Algorithm.
I think we've got a couple of
What did you call it? Crafty? Yeah.
AI
AI
Garomo.
Garomo, mate.
AI Garomo.
Artificial intelligence. Come on, get with it.
See, I don't like it when it's dirty on the head like that. It's dark.
Too
It's
much
a lot
solid
of
head
head
pattern
pattern,
as well, mate. Isn't it? What did Twisty say to you in the week? Oh, you've got your single head pattern racist.
Yeah, but the Shiroji
I'm
quality.
with you, mate.
Otsuka bought a Tosai 12 cm, now 37, that last one. Now then, this is Matt Howard Coy's first one.
Auction.
Miyatora Tosai.
Auction.
Is this an auction fish, Matt?
Can be. Yeah. Yeah.
Can be. This one
Can be.
this can be. Go on, if you want
Yeah.
it, you can have it. Go on. I sell fish for a living, but I'm not sure if I want to sell this one.
To be honest, they're all,
That's
These
like
are-
all the best breeders in town, mate.
these are in the polytunnel, so they're heated. Intention to grow on.
You know, you can cool them down, mate. before you
As a
pack 'em up.
carry, then is it as a carry?
As a carry, you're growing as well.
Yeah,
If the
good.
price is right, yeah, but I'm not doing it. Nothing.
So this
What
one,
do you mean you're not doing it for nothing? The price you get for that, you'll cover it.
Easily. That's a good fish, mate, eh?
This is my
Miyatora
favorite.
Tosai
This,
again.
this one's not for sale.
This one's not for sale.
Neither is your fucking camera, is it?
Oh, Matt, where you been hiding that?
Is that a Sakazumi one?
Slippery he is. You need to watch him.
No, Miyatora.
That's Miyatara.
Fucking,
And
he
this
didn't
one-
have that there when I was there.
Because it's a marathon, obviously. So Matt wants to keep it. We'll get Gromos for this.
Come on, let's get this one auctioned off, guys. Let's do this one now.
This one, this top one is for sale. So
Bottom one is as well.
No,
what
it's
are we
not.
saying? What's your
Oh,
starting bid?
all for-
What's your starting bid then, Matt?
Tenner.
60.
£60, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
mate, that's a
No.
fucking no way.
No.
60. Fuck me, man.
They're trying
Where's
to fucking
60 quid then,
impose it all,
guys? You need to
What's
get
the
on that.
size? What's the size, Matt?
20 cm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good
You
body
should
for
make
20
that up.
cm as well.
20 cm.
It's not sold yet, Mark. No.
Size discrepancies coming in.
20 cm.
Well, look at
There
the
is a
body line on it.
nice
It's a
limit.
good body line, so it's got a lot of power up front, isn't it? 20 cm. Good size head, good size mouth, good pattern.
I thought you were talking about me then, Crafty.
He is.
I'm going to agree with your pre times, mate.
No one wants it, Matt.
No,
Fucking
move on
hell,
then,
Matt.
please.
No on. Moving on swiftly.
There you go.
Not down there because there's about 1 million. Oh, shit. I've lost him. All comments. There we go. We get back down to where we was. And we're seeing Ross Jacobs. Right. That one and that one's not for sale. Right.
Oh,
Rob
man,
Alice.
just sell it, for fuck's sake.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That's
It's clean as a whistle on the head, man. Look at that.
Where's
How
this
much
one?
is this
been?
one?
Oh,
60 quid?
fucking hell. Yeah, that's a good exhaust.
Whose is this?
Well,
Rob
head
Alice.
on it. Fucking head on that, mate.
I vaguely remember that fish. I think that's one that we might have supplied at some point.
Yeah, I think that's
Is it an auction? One of Lee's auctions fish, maybe, or something?
Could be. That is
Fucking
down.
size of the head on it, mate.
I think that might have
Slab
won
of
last
an
year
egg.
in this event.
Paul Prentice's.
Cool, hang about. This looks all right.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
pulls in a bit on the tail, doesn't it? Was it female, quite eggy? Clean, huh? Okay.
That would be winning if the last one went on.
Oh, Mark Newham.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
That's a nice fish too.
I'll tell you what, that looks very like the Marusian style fish, that.
Proper male though, and ain't got the body or the structure as the two previous.
Right, we did have some that were posted in, but these are Jeff Wins, and he's posted a couple of them. Let's see if he's. This is also a Garomo Goshke on Mikarashi.
That's nice.
I like that.
different,
My
that.
issue with that is when a Goshki loses his pattern, the Benny fades away and leaves that white. So, from my point of view,
No, timed out, Vince.
yeah, but the quality of that is immense.
Naughty step, Vince.
I would love to see that fish now because that's 5 years old. That is that video.
How do you know the video is 5 years old?
Because he bought
They
it.
took it.
He bought it in 2017, and he filmed it as a Sansai 3 years later. So he's 8 years of age now, but the video is 5 years old.
Is that?
Same fish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so
So that's what I'm saying. When a Goshki's Benny recedes, it leaves the white. So if you go back to, you see where the
oh, that's one I entered for the just for the thumbnail.
I want to see what that fish looks like now.
It probably looks like a. Yeah, you can see
Stunning fish.
everywhere the pennies receded, it's left white pattern, isn't it?
Oh, that's white.
That's nice, isn't
I've
it?
seen this. This is mint. This
This is Roof Rottens Budagaroma 35 cm from Marcus at Kazuko Koi.
that is stunning.
That's nice.
I remember this fish is absolutely mint.
Yeah.
Shiroji quality on that is like better than most little
That's
tanks.
A grade, mate, and it fucking through and through.
That's different gravy.
That is very nice.
That's
That
number one for
Garoma.
me.
That
That's
Garomo, I
not
did
right.
recognise it. Agaromo. It was off Lee's first auction, Gaz. That Agaromo, the one that had the massive body on it. Just
Oh, the first back, yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, that's number one.
there every day at week.
Yeah,
Well,
but now
number-
you really.
Roof is holding number one place at the present.
It's only toe size as well. That
Fuck
Yeah,
it, mate.
yeah.
Look at the sashi line in it as well. Opposite end. Come on.
Yeah, but have we got any more, guys? Have we finished?
that's going to absolutely smash their local koi show. That it's going to absolutely destroy it.
I don't think there's.
Yeah, Ruth's mid-staffed, isn't she?
That's it for what's been sent in. We've got.
I'm going with that.
Go back to the one with the big
Yeah,
head
it's
and the
easily
little
the
dot.
best.
Different.
No,
gravy,
go
that.
back to the one with the big head and the little dot.
Quality-wise, that Ruth
Try and
Rotten's
get everybody up there. We can.
quality-wise is there.
Come
They're
on.
not fucking. They
I'm not sure
are
about
not
this.
Garomo.
Let's see them together.
Where's he gone? Turn the lights off. I mean, it's because there's five of us. He's took himself out.
Good. Not that one. We selling this one? Is this yours, Ryan? You selling it?
No, these are what Gaz picked out today. He's picked two out actually. They're pretty nice.
Guys, drop me out, mate. I'm going to make a brew.
Yeah, straight away. Boom. I took no fucking
The
hesitation.
crap you're going to make a brew then, right? So both these fish are available for auction, and these are two that I picked out this afternoon. Both of them are 19 cm, and both of them have a starting bid of £75. I've got two little videos that we can bang up, so we'll go with the first one.
And by the way, guys, these are Gaz's pictures and videos as well. By the way, they're not mine. He's done it all himself.
Just shit and these it's fucking awful. Mate, that's better in the video than that looks all right, doesn't it?
If anybody's interested, £75 for your starting bid. Nice little toe size, grow-ons.
It's stonking, isn't it? Really. Should have put it on earlier before we saw the other ones, but mate, what I don't get right is if that was a Gimrin Crashigoid, someone would be bidding on it.
Yeah. I think Garomo's.
I keep saying
That's
this.
been put shit on by Ryan.
I reckon Guamo must be the slowest selling talked about koi out the whole lot. And it's like the name's not sexy enough.
And then we've
The
got
name. You're going to blame it on the name.
Ryan,
second one.
we're going to have to rename the Guamo to a sexy name. They just don't go, do they? They're just.
I know this one's banging. By the way, I absolutely love this. This is great. Big
This
little
is got
bag.
a body shape. isn't it?
grown on at yours. Not at mine, mate. It's come out exactly the same size, bro, or smaller.
So Ryan, what are you looking for when you're looking at the Benny pattern with the robing,
The
background?
It's
What you
difficult at Garomo because I think when you're picking Garomo, especially, you are relying on that really nice robing to come through on them. These are obviously in that they're not proper Budo Garomo and they're not Garomo. They're like that in between stage. These you are pretty much like Goshki. You're chancing it it's all just. I tell you now, with these, it's fucking potluck. I'll be honest. I prefer now the more what we've seen, like with the one on the roofs, like that really nice. Since I've been getting invested into it at Agata, they do that really nice black bud ogre Romo, and it is absolutely, that lineage is absolutely stunning. Whereas with these, I think you just find that development to really sort of find its feet almost. But I just go off pattern. To be honest with you, with Garomo, I look at like anything. I go off skin quality, and then I go off the pattern, and then just instinct, because they're so fucking marmite as well, Garomo. They really are. And it depends how that Sumi develops, and that's quite difficult. Sakazumi has been around for years. I remember that was one of the first fish I think I ever bought when I first went to Japan. I bought a small Nisai Garomo from Sakazumi years ago.
I think the fish that's definitely grown on me, the Garomo.
I think good ones are amazing, aren't they? But they're so hard to find good ones.
Good ones.
That's the issue. I think a good Garomo looks amazing, and a slightly off one looks shit.
And
Dave, you can have a cheeky bid of 75 quid, mate. Yeah, feel free.
They don't seem to grow either to the same ratio as the rest. Like
Mark said, growing at yours question. Mark Otto. Which one, Mark?
Yeah.
I think this one will be harder to grow than the other one.
This one, I think that'll have a better body out of it too.
It'd be bigger body, but it'd be harder to get decent length on, wouldn't it? Length versus body, isn't it?
I think it'll have a lot stronger. I think it'll have a lot stronger body than the other one, to be honest. But I don't know. And they're not staying at mine, Mark. No, I've got too many fish in my fucking growing ponds. Anyway, Mark's been buying smaller fish than these and putting them in with great big fish at minute. So plenty more room at the inn, Gaz, isn't it?
Yeah, which plenty of room at your inn, and you've two to choose from.
They are both. It's mental, though, isn't it? To produce a fish like that is so hard.
Yeah, it really is. The thing is, with Sakazumi, that's where predominantly I buy a lot of Garomo from, because the lineage has been so stable and been around for years. The only other places really where I buy them from at the minute would be Agata or probably Izumir. But obviously, Izumir is doing more Garomo rather than like the Budo Garomo. It's, again, completely different.
It's going to be one of my next purchases, a Garomo, I think. That's going to be the next one I'm going to have. Definitely. Well, there's our crafter. Put him back in there. There we go, ladies and gents. That was the koi appreciation. But we have our winner, which will be...
No, we need to see the one with the big head and the spot first. Come on.
Yeah, well, I've still got to bring it back up. That one is the one that most people were saying is a bit of a wow.
The Shiroji quality on that is insane. But I like the body on.
And you like this one.
The Sumi Garamo. It was in the pond.
No.
I like
like that. Yeah, that Garomo with that slab of an head on it.
Oh, that one was it? It was
got a little red dot on its head.
Oh.
Hell of a fucking slab of an head.
Mate, I think for me that wins.
That's an Izumir one. That's mega.
Mate.
Wow.
Can you not put them side by side, Gaz? What's the matter with your info technology, man?
I can't, because people didn't hang about. I might be able to.
As much as I like the other one, I think that one has to win for me for just the sheer body head.
Yeah. Follow.
Oh, that's pretty good. Come on, guys, you're nearly getting it.
Ah, crap.
Fair play. I wouldn't even get none of this up.
Based on my current style and preference, I'm going with that Bud Ogre remote right. So that's just on another fucking level.
We need to see him swimming around side by side. Guys are
You
sorting
will
this out.
do in a second. That one. Oh, yes, son of a bitch. Has that got?
Is it in the window behind us?
No, that's me.
No.
To be honest, if judges want to go for the one on the right, I can't dispute it that much. I prefer the body on this one here.
Why would it do that?
Give that up as a bad job. No, I'm still going with that one, right?
You chose to go swimming.
Just bearing in mind now, that was bought on Lee's first auction, so that's going to be this eye. That thing on the right is a toes eye.
It's got a good body on it, though, for a toes, hasn't it?
We're not
Yeah,
judging that, Ryan. We're just judging the fish in front of us.
So diplomatic, that Rick.
Mate,
It's a tough call, but that
No, it's not for me. It's that the one on the right all day long.
right, it's fucking
It's got
mega.
better skin. It's got the pattern. It's got really good sashi line. Yeah,
Although
the
body
quality isn't.
Yeah.
The body, yeah, but I think the qualities outweigh the body line on that other one.
I think if you compared them two as Nisai, yeah, if that would be, then you'd look at it in a completely different light.
No, Rick, I can't.
mate, just the head on that is just insane. You got needle nose versus bulldog nose.
I can't wait to do my next fish selection now. I'm going needle nose.
And then we've got all these. God damn.
You got more?
Yeah.
Ah, shit, that one wins.
Shit.
That's nice, Ryan, isn't it?
That one actually just come into the country not so long back. It's been out in Japan now for two seasons, and it's when I say show scene wise, it did really, really good.
Oh, that's nice as well.
These aren't involved, are they? That's lucky.
No, these are just appreciation.
Oh, that's
But-
good. That's
Look at
brilliant.
the pattern
I'll have
on
that-
that
Have you got that one, Ryan? I'll have that one.
That's one of my pets. That
Mate, that one's all right, isn't it?
Everything's for sale, though, Rick.
oh yeah, everything's for sale, Rick. By the way, and this one.
Yeah, like that.
That's nice as well. Jesus
Is that-
Christ.
Is the Mir one? Is that?
The last one was Izumir as a Nisai. That's an Izumir toe side at
Oh,
and that's
Look at that. That's
yeah, that's
mint.
a good one.
That's one. Yeah.
That
Where's
was a
that one
maroon.
that you bought from Mauritian?
That's it.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm torn between that and that myself.
That's a Maroon one as well. That.
Vince, how can you not like them?
Which one was it when we was both in there and that fucking fish swam past that pond? And we both went, fucking hell, see that?
That's
Do you remember?
that's
It
that's
is
the
that
last
one,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's it was.
That one.
That. Yeah.
My God, mate. We both had little chubby eyes grow immediately.
Remember the nasty messages and phone calls I got when I posted side photo of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty good.
Oh, sorry, I've still got a tick banners going across the bottom of
75 quid. Yeah, I'll put a bid in.
Good one, Rick.
there. Right. I'm just going to bring that comment up because I think it's quite nice of the gentleman to turn around and say, Tony Nichols has put there, before we get off, apologies once again to Ryan for my comment. It was a bad joke after a few beers. I hope no long offence is taken. I love you and the work you do, mate. Good night, all. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem.
I
There
like
we
that.
go.
Someone actually, that's nice, though, isn't it? Someone put a comment in. And,
It's Ryan's scary face.
Crying scary face.
Like a fucking bulldog, mate, isn't he?
Right
He's getting close to the camera. In real life, he's much smaller.
No, I am. I'm the only
I'm
one
gonna-
who's
Super zoom on. Super zoom.
I'm gonna
in condition though, regardless of size. Get
seeing
in
as
there.
though Susan comes here week in, week out, and she's up early doors because I guess in your time scale is totally different to us. I'm going to ask Susan if she will pick next week's koi for the koi appreciation.
Oh, now then.
So, Susan,
Don't pick
koi of
anything.
your
Right.
choice for next week's koi appreciation, if you wouldn't mind.
Guys will be getting all carried away again.
I just hope it's a big Pericina because they're mint.
No, she's butterfly.
Pick short bodies. Short body
Short
koi.
bodies, yeah, short bodies. You're ugly koi. Let's see them.
Nice. I've got GC all stamped all over that shit.
You fucking haven't, mate. I've got a short body, long fin. Get over that one. Even worse, mate.
Oh no, it's got lots of
Did we say Ruth won that?
Yes, you get to pick Susan.
Oh no. Crap, that's vile.
Yeah, mate. Rank. And it's bent.
Oh,
A short-bodied, long-fin, bent fish.
Yeah,
that
mate.
sounds
The
awful.
most ugliest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life.
Sounds like one of those tamasaba, mate.
It looks quite similar, like a big version of it. To be
choice.
fair.
Mine's spawning with tamasabas at minute. I can't wait to see offspring.
Well, I think your dad spawned a few tonight.
You better be joking.
Yeah, tamasaba short-bodied.
Are you all winding me up?
a key shower.
Fuck.
Ain't gonna have
Oh,
many of them in.
no. Something realistic.
I mean, you ain't gonna get many of them,
No.
if any, over here.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's try again.
Let's try again. Key shower.
Do you make
But
kin
remember,
show? Do you
we
make
want
What do you mean,
fish that
kin
people
shower?
have got. Maybe a kin shower, but even that's hard
That's going to be hard, yeah, because there's not very many of them about either.
because a lot of them are shit.
Matt's got a couple. He's like, yeah, I got some of them.
Well, I'll tell
We've
you what.
already had.
You
I
know,
think we've already had Goshki, haven't we? Can't remember this time, right? Yeah, Susan, I have one. All right, then. Well, how about we go all types of shower? Because then that'll fall into the category.
Shower would be good.
Not kin shower, key shower. Susan has a key shower, so all types of shower. Then, yeah. How about that? We'll go for
let's
that.
do kin shower and shower.
Just do shower, all
Shower.
varieties.
Deutsch shower. Short body shower, long fin shower.
Short body, long fin, bent.
Shower from another mother.
Oh god. Come on, Kraft, what you strutting, lad?
Fucking ham sandwich, lad.
Go on, my boy.
He ate McDonald's earlier, it wasn't enough.
I haven't eaten all day.
Oh, shut up.
Tell you what, mate.
I
I know one. He's gone for the bare basics because he hasn't been gifted it this time by his missus. He's had to do it
Fucking laying
himself.
down, mate. On her ass.
Oh, it
doing
is.
knuckle.
I've just misspelled.
You can have some of that. Get up.
She ain't even there anymore.
There we go then. All types of show for next week. And that Lisa just put
Oh, she's there. She's there.
shower.
In the chair.
Show my shower. I can't.
Let's do gin shower.
Oh, yeah. Gaz has got no shirt. Any type of shirt, Gaz ain't got one.
All time. Yeah, I ain't got any. I ain't got a shower.
Ryan will lend you one for the week.
Fuck's sake! I know what exactly what he's going to fucking pull out. As well.
Lend him one.
Yeah,
Pop it
you do,
in
don't
one
you?
for the week.
You do, don't you? I'm going to shit my pants doing it as well. Well, you could do it. You could do it.
Jay, if you ain't got no glow Sankey, how have you got a tan show as your profile picture? Just saying.
Who knows?
Lisa says she'll lend me mine. That is nice, though, Lisa. That's lovely. It's
Luckily
lovely.
for Jay, though, he's sat in front of like 4 dealers, so he can get himself one whipped up in that time. Can't you, Jay?
Yeah. You're good, Jay. We can sort you something out. I actually have a tan show.
Hashtag twat. That's mint.
Right then, that's it, ladies and gents. Thanks very much for tuning in to this week's Gazza's Koi Pond Live Thursday night. Usual thing. If you've been enjoying this kind of content, do us a huge favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend.
Get
Till
help.
next week. Keep smiling, guys, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Good night, all.
Cricket bats.
This has been one hell of an experience. Have a look at that. New change in the garden. Made a little seated area. Into the little bush. So you can sit inside. And the other pond.